Welcome you back to the Field of Dreams in Van Buren, Arkansas. Tim Terry, Keith Holt, glad to have you here for Game 2 of this 5A West doubleheader. Van Buren and Greenwood. Bulldogs took Game 1 8-5. And they will get ready to go here in Game 2 against Malachi Henry, who will be on the bump for the Pointers. He will also lead off. Preston Nichols is batting second. He's in center field. Clark Seeger is at third base. Again, he'll bat third. Peyton Bashir is catching. And he'll bat in the cleanup spot. Caleb Adams. Excuse me, bats fifth. He's in left field again. And a nice play in Game 1. Ethan Bowen bats sixth, and he plays first base for Van Buren. In the seventh hole is Matthew Nichols, and he is at second base. Mason Dowmont bats in the eighth hole. He plays right field. And Dylan Dudley will be at shortstop, and he bats ninth. For Greenwood, Doc Holt will lead off, plays second base. Harrison Adams is shortstop here in Game 2. He bats in the two hole. Grant Carnes will be the starting pitcher for Greenwood in Game 2. He's in the three hole. Brady Pettigrew bats cleanup. He's our first baseman. Aiden Kennon's in the five hole. He's the designated hitter here in Game 2. Braden Skaggs goes to left field in Game 2, bats sixth. Weston Bashir is at third base. He'll bat seventh. Austin Bircher, our right fielder here in Game number 2. He bats in the eighth hole. And Austin Mitchell out in center field. He'll bat in the nine hole. Baylor Hosley is catching again here in Game 2. Run it up. We are ready to go here in this second game of this doubleheader. 5A West action. 7:54 is our first pitch. Nightfall has arrived. And the first one to Holt's a called strike. We've got umpires have switched. We wondered if they would. 53 degrees at first pitch. Chilly over here. No wind. The American flag is limp out in center. And the righty-righty matchup. Kai Henry bounces the 0-1 in there. It's 1-1.
You know, in all the pitchers we've seen today have had a problem with their landing area. I don't know if it's too steep, if it's too soft, too hard, but he kind of messes with it there. And we've seen Mitchie, we've seen Hunter. All of them seem to have problems with being comfortable on the mound.
Doc Holt, right-handed bat, second baseman, waits on the 1-1 from Kai Henry. Here it is. Upstairs, 2-1. Greenwood won the first game 8-5. And haven't heard any scores from around the conference, but they're certainly not in the first place. At worst, a tie. Here's a 2-1 to Dawson Holt. This is lifted to right field, up above the lights, and it is out number 1. That's Dowmont out there. And Harrison Adams will stand in. The Greenwood shortstop had a nice Game 1. 2 for 3, 3 RBI. New baseball's coming in from Coach Weatherford. That is Chris, I believe it's Chris Johnson or Craig Johnson behind the dish. Steve Jones out in the field, our umpire crew. One down here in the top of the first. Bulldogs put 3 across in Game 1 of the first inning. See if they can.
And that was huge. That set the tone for the game, and having them play catch-up the entire time changed the complexion of the game.
First one's in there, called strike to Harrison Adams. Kai Henry. I don't know what he's playing at the next level, but I know he's going to college. really good football player. Certainly made a hand in all three sports, major sports, baseball, basketball, football. Off-speed's in there for a call. Nope. Call it a ball.
That?
I think he called a ball, 1-1.
Oh, wow. Oh, was Weatherford not happy with that?
No. Called it inside, I guess. Henry's ready up top and brings home the 1-1. Adams liner right to the first baseman for out number 2. Yeah. Here's Grant Carnes, the Bulldogs pitcher. Bashir out there discussing with home plate blue. Battery mate for
another attribute a team needs to be successful is you got to be able to score with 2 outs.
Yep.
And we haven't very often got runners on base, a long score, so that would be a great time to start now with Carnes.
That ball's outside, 1-0. Home plate blue trying to get settled in there. That's in there for a called strike. 1-1.
How's he calling his strike? I can't tell what he's doing.
He doesn't have any signal. He's just holding up the count.
Oh.
1-1. Henry ready up on top. Carnes fouls this one back into the netting. 1-2.
Yeah, Pettigrew.
Yeah, he said, my bad. Kenan said, I'll go get that, Petty. Want him to stay in the on-deck circle.
And to me, you got to get ready on deck. That's the best place to be, timing and everything. There's a reason it happens at every level it happens.
1-2 to Carnes. It's in the dirt, 2-2. I'm a little uncomfortable with home plate blue. I'm going to tell you folks straight up right now with 2 outs on the top of the first. Sweet Lord, please don't let that guy come down to making this game matter. And that one's just outside. Full count.
How do you know?
It wasn't a strike.
How do you know it wasn't a strike?
Well, the catcher, he called it a ball 1.
I can't see his left hand, so I can't tell which hand's going up.
3.
Wow.
I'm just watching the scoreboard. I hope Mark Hurst does a good job up there. Here's the full count. And Carnes reaches out. It's tapped off of Henry's glove. It's going to fall helplessly into shallow right field.
That's a hit, yep.
Yeah, it's got to be a hit. So there you go. There's a...
Broke up the no-hitter early.
Right, and they don't draw a picture on the scorecard. They called it an error right out of the gate. Wow.
How is that an error?
I have no idea.
The pitcher kind of dives at it to hit it.
Tough. Scott Holland will come out and run for the pitcher, Grant Carnes. And here's Brady Pettigrew, a chance for a 2-out rally. They scored an error. Woo.
I guarantee you the Greenwood game changer has as a hit. And that has nothing to do about him being a Greenwood. That's the way it should be.
Yeah.
It wasn't a routine play.
No. He had to be almost Superman outstretched to even get a glove on it.
Unless maybe he's thinking, man, pitchers are told to get out of the way. If you can't field it, get out of the way.
Well, here's Pettigrew. Come on, brother. 2-out rally. First pitch swing, and this one's ripped to left, out into the night sky and off the wall. Hollins on his horse. He'll score easily from first base, and Pettigrew with a 2-out RBI double. Oh, baby.
And that's all he does. I mean, he just hits it to the gap, and he hits it hard.
And he extends his lead of RBI here for these Bulldogs with another one. And you asked for it, Keith, scoring with 2 outs, and you got it.
That's right.
Here's Aiden Kinnon now, the DH.
And that's what you want to be known for. If you don't want to be out there and then think, oh, this is going to be easy, you want to make it hard.
Yeah.
And until they're down, they're down.
Kinnon got his first hit of the season in game 1 at his pitching spot. And Henry's first one's tipped, and that caught Bashir on the offhand, and he's in trouble back there. Oh, that smarts. I know it does, dadgummit.
Even count.
Yeah, it caught him on his right hand. Home plate blues wandering around aimlessly. He should get that ball and go give it to the pitcher and let him time to get his thoughts about him.
It's in the box.
I guess I know we have a shortage and we should be lucky that we just have 2. But, a conference game,
yeah,
it's to leave it to a guy that's not as experienced or seasoned, and you can tell that by his mechanics. No one's worked about him with his mechanics. That's a given. That's the way it is at every level.
Yes.
Well, it's just kind of odd that they put him in this position right here.
It is tough.
But, he's doing good.
So far, we're winning. 1 strike count to Aiden Kidded.
I applaud him for being out here.
Yep,
and not afraid, because you can't continue to have a shortage because people are scared of the way that Tim acts.
Right.
Other people act.
Right. That's my bad.
Sorry.
Here's the 0-1. That's in there for a called strike.
No. Was it?
Yep. Gotta be. 0-2.
You're right to it. Go, get it.
And Coach Weatherford wanted the count. He has a strike. No, he didn't give it. Like I said, he has no strike signal whatsoever. You just got to see what the count is. So it's up to you, Kennan. Don't leave it up to Blue. Greenwood up 1-0 here, top of the first, 2-out rally. Pettigrew with a 2-out RBI double. And that's inside. 1-2.
Keep doing it. Keep doing it. See more. A lot of confidence.
I think Van Buren faithful thought it was in there. Close.
What do they know?
I know, yeah.
They're not professionals like you.
Or that umpire. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Well, that helps the home plate Blue a lot.
Oh, he chainsawed it that time.
Nice. After the swing.
Honestly.
Well, we had a hit. Had 2 hits. Officially, I guess just 1 according to the home scoreboard. Left a man on base, scored a run.
It's 2. We're not going by the official because the official isn't what we're going to turn in for our stats.
That's true.
That's a hit. When Greenwood turns in their stats, they'll go off a game changer. And I know Easton Barrett said, man, that was a tough play. Couldn't have made it. It wasn't routine. It was a hit.
Malachi Henry will try to help himself out in the bottom half. Presley Nichols, then Clark Seeger. As the Pointers come to bat, they'll have to face Grant Carnes, the sophomore, when we come back on Greenwood Sports Center and the Sports Hog, 103.5. Thank you. 1 minute.
I know even whenever you – so let's say that you want to umpire and you've never umpired.
Right.
There's usually a guy that's going to be with you that shows you what to do, how to do it.
Yes. You'd think my man out there might kind of work with him before we got going.
Because it's a reflection of him, too. It's look, when it's a strike, show him it's a strike.
Yes.
So, because I'm having to wait and look for his finger, and a while ago he forgot to put it up, and I just want to know is it a strike or not. And honestly,
he uses the count every time.
Yeah. Well, and let's say the coach calling pitches.
Right.
You want the game to go faster? Tell us quicker. That way he can call the next pitch.
That's true. But like you said, I applaud the guy. He's out there.
Oh, yes. He's doing a great job.
We welcome you back to the Field of Dreams. Iverson Riggs Memorial Field, Van Buren on the banks of the mighty Lee Creek. Greenwood leading 1-0 here. Game 2 of this 5A West doubleheader. Pointers trying to get a split out of this. A 2-out RBI double for Brady Pettigrew. Puts the boys on Blue up 1 run. Greenwood in their navy blue tops. Bulldogs is in cursive. It's in blue and it's outlined. It's etched, I guess, in white actually on the front. White trousers. Everybody's got him down low except for Doc Holt. He's got him up high at second base. Love it. Here's Malachi Henry, the Pointers pitcher, to lead off. And Grant Carnes will kick and fire for the Bulldogs. The fastball's in there for a called strike. Hey, here's a strike call.
Yeah, but that's the thing with Mitchell, Carnes, Hunter, and Aiden. They've all got velo. And the problem is just those strikes. So, when it comes to high school velo, it's nice to have those kind of pitchers.
Swing and a miss for Henry. Carnes comes into today 2-0 record. ERA's at just over 4. 15 2/3 innings. He's ahead of Henry 0-2. And that's in there for strike
Well,
3.
there it is.
1 and 2.
Well, wow.
1 and 2. A little low, a little outside.
It was a good call. He's doing a good job back there.
Carnes up on top. And that's upstairs for sure, 2 and 2.
My wife texted and said, I still need work on my delivery, but for you jumping on my side, you're in trouble later. So,
I like that. Here's a 2-2. Nobody out bottom first. Carnes kicks and fires. And full count. That ball a little inside. And Henry digs in from the right side. Carnes up on top. Brings it home. Swing and a miss. Thank God. 1 out. I mean, you know, it's tough.
Insult to injury. Well, that's listen, and that's just a guy that's not doing it. That's kind of like dogpiling.
Right.
I mean, you always, when he swings at it, you only pull the chainsaw when it's looking.
Absolutely. Here's Presley Nichols. Now he's in center fielder. Left-handed bat, and Carnes
Pitched a good game the last game.
He did.
Kinda.
We just got him deep in the count. His pitch count went up. Had to get rid of him. That's upstairs to Carnes.
Hey, let him hit it. Let's go.
I like the pitches
Zone.
that are easy for us to tell if it's a ball or strike. No borderline.
Which of those are you?
That was definitely a ball.
Okay.
That's
a strike.
Yeah. There you
There
go.
it is. That's better.
It's 1-1.
Hey, and this is where Coach Brewer could be a nice guy and go help him. Go tell him what the strike zone is and how to call it.
I'm sure that'll happen between him or Coach Weatherford at some point in this ball game. Here's a 1-1. Tip foul. Good. That's a strike. Everybody knows it. The Carnes just got to blow up past him, get him swinging, make the life easier.
Ali said he could do the chainsaw whenever he wants. If he wants to dogpile on a kid, that's his prerogative. Leave him alone.
That's a good point too. I mean, we're not paying for him.
All right, we are at the Field of Dreams.
Right. Here's the 1-2. That's in there for a call.
Atta baby. There it is. Atta baby.
And a backwards K. 2 down now. Carnes with a couple of strikeouts, and Clark Seeger will stand in.
We are witnessing a growth on so many levels here at the Field of Dreams. Greenwood baseball, the things we're doing better, and as we're growing, and an umpire that was nice what he just did.
It's a metamorphosis. It's like a butterfly coming out of his cocoon.
This is one of those moments you just have to sit back and say, you don't get to do this every day. The witness of the growth that we are seeing.
Coach Weatherford came down and said, my guy tried to duck out of the way of that, and you called it a strike?
Well, Coach Weatherford doesn't see it the way you and I see it.
Well, he's got a poor angle over there at the third base box.
That's right.
Here's Seeger, their third baseman. Righty matchup, and Carnes with 2 strikeouts. And the Seeger chops that one foul over Coach Weatherford. And Stoic over there didn't even bat an eye as it bounced over the top of him. 1 strike. Again, that makes it easier for all of us. Good pitch.
When they swing at it?
Yeah, when they foul him off, that's a no-brainer. Carnes steps off the rubber. Now he's back up top and ready.
Defense playing all straight up. You're about to say the same thing.
Well, they've got to be on the ready. Sometimes you get lulled to sleep by Carnes.
Yeah,
And the called strike. A nice breaking ball came in there, 0-2.
He's getting better now. I can tell what he's doing. I know it's a strike.
I mean, it's really a Leslie Nielsen type deal.
It's crazy.
Here's the 0-2.
But he's really doing it. It's been consistent.
Yeah, I agree, 100%. Carnes with some gas and just outside, 1-2. A little low. 2 down. Bottom of the first, Greenwood leading 1-0. Here's Carnes. Kicks and fires. That's in there for a called strike. 2-2.
Whoa. Hosley was halfway to the dugout.
It was a little high. Well, the problem with this, Keith, is, on all seriousness, we've been joking pretty much, and we're tongue-in-cheek, and we're Bronx cheering this guy, but you're running up pitch counts and stuff like that. That makes a difference. And we already ought to be in the dugout and strike out the side in order inning. Here's Carnes. One more time, the 2-2.
Well,
And this one's up and fouled out of play.
But and we talked about it. This is a big game. I mean, I don't care. The conference games at the start of the season are just as huge as the ones at the end. Probably more so because how much pressure are you going to put on other teams?
Yes.
Greenwood could start 4-0. How much pressure does that put on? And they start 0-4. Now they've got to start winning.
Here's the 2-2. That's in there for a called strike. Got him looking. Carnes strikes out the side in order. 1, 2, 3, they go. No hits, no runs, no errors. Bulldogs lead 1-0 after the first inning. We'll take a timeout to Greenwood Baseball, Greenwood Sports Center, and the Sports Hog 103.5. If you have a 30, give it to me. Yes. We'll read off some of these sponsors.
You know what I mean? That's why I thought he called it.
Greenwood's got it. We'll talk about this here in a second.
Tonight's game brought to you in part by ABC Signs and Printings, Top Notch Roofing, Craig Gigerich, State Farm Insurance. Keith?
You and I have always talked about the formula. How do you get to the state tournament, and how do you have success in the state tournament? Well, Connor Nolan, Van Kooten, Bashir. You have to have 3 pitchers. You have to have, that was the last year they went far. You have to have 3. Carnes, Kennan, Mitchell. Those are 3, and then you add a couple other with Hunter and Pettigrew. I mean, you've got the pitching to get there now. So you have to be good, not just okay. You have to be good at the base running, the 2-out hits, your approaches, and if we continue to progress, then I would say that they've got a great chance of going deep into the state tournament. But if we don't get better, then it offsets the good pitching. It doesn't matter. You can have. There's a lot of teams that have that 1 or 2 great pitcher but can't do all the little things right. So if Greenwood will clean up that, it's going to be an exciting year for Coach Brewer's first year.
Here's Braden Skaggs to lead us off in the top of the second. 1-0 Bulldogs. Skaggs, Bashir, Bircher, and Kai Henry back up on top for the Pointers. Skaggs is in left field in game 2. And the first one's in there for a called strike.
And Kai's not an overpowering pitcher. He's not somebody that's going to, his velocity doesn't touch Carnes'. He's going to try to paint corners and make you put a bad bat onto it, make you not hit the ball square.
Skaggs had a nice game 1 as well. He was 2 for 4.
Hey, here we go, 6.
Here's the 0-1, and it's reached out, tapped right, and it's down, a diving stab. Skaggs going to try to stretch it for 2. Here comes the throw, and he's in there, no problem. A laid-off double.
Great job of Skaggs of not slowing down at all. He had the play in front of him. He didn't have to look at your first base coach when you got in front of you. And when he saw that ball squared away from the right fielder, he knew that was going to be 2.
By the way, they changed that earlier to a hit and not an error on
Of course they did.
Henry, which is good.
Well, if I'm Henry's dad, I go talk to him and say, wait, so you give that an E1?
Right. Yeah, it certainly wasn't.
Then you're the football coach, you have a little sway.
Yeah, and the no-hitter was already blown because Carnes had already reached. Or no, that was the first hit. Never mind. There's sheer first pitch, swinging to second base, gobbled up over to first for out number 1. Skaggs moves up.
And that's not a bad approach. You want to hit it at him. You want it to the right side. You want to move him over. So he did what he did. Now it's Bircher's job to hit it to the right side or deep.
An impromptu sack bunt almost, if you will.
Yes. You'd like it to get through, but if it doesn't, it did its job.
Here's Bircher now with 1 out.
The infield is in, so they're going to try to cut down the runner.
Skaggs over at first. Bircher had a nice game 1 as well. He was 2 for 4. First one's upstairs. Too high. Ball 1.
Hit. You got ducks on. Let's go.
Henry up on top, works exclusively from a little stretch, if you will. He comes set, checks on Skaggs at third. Here it comes. And this one's fouled up over the top, out of play. Bircher's in right field here in game 2. And it's a 1-1 count.
Come to the outfield. Let's go.
Yep. You hear Coach Sanford, something to the outfield.
Yep. Get that sack fly.
Cover.
Or find the green grass. Score him easy. Austin Bircher, right-handed bat. Henry brings it That's in the dirt. Good job for Bashir back there to knock that thing down. 2-1 to count.
Back to advantage.
1-0 Greenwood, top of the second. We'll play 7 innings here in game 2 as well.
Come, Bert.
A legit nightcap.
Yeah, if this one takes as long as the first game, over 3 hours. Was it 3 hours? It was
Pretty close.
Yeah.
2-1 to Austin Bircher. Here it is. This one's in the air a mile high. Not going to be deep enough. Will it be caught? It is. Out number 2 by the first baseman over in foul ground. Bowen.
Yeah, and Bircher, I'm sure he's going to beat himself up for missing that pitch. But even if you miss-hit it, you either got to foul it off or miss-hit it on the ground to where he can score.
Here's Austin Mitchell. Bats in our 9-hole. He's our center fielder. A right-handed bat trying to rally, get on 2 outs here. We saw it in the first inning. Skaggs at third. There's a ball ripped to center field. Back goes Nichols. He's tracking towards the wall and makes a catch, scooting back. Nice play from the center fielder. Austin Mitchell gave it a ride, but the park held it. And that's all for the Bulldogs here in the top of the second. A leadoff double. Skaggs stranded at third. The Bulldogs get nothing across. Pointers come to bat in the bottom half. It'll be Bashir, Adams, and Bowen after a quick timeout. Greenwood baseball on Greenwood Sports Center and the Sports Hog 103.5.
Hey, how are you?
We are still alive here in the bottom of the second. And I guess they dropped security down at the gate here at the Field of Dreams because the director of athletics for the Greenwood Bulldogs has showed up, the good doctor, Dr. Dustin Smith. Were you at the softball game? How'd that go?
Wow.
Lady Bulldogs lost the first one 3-0. And, Van Buren, I think, was heavily favored to really come into this. And the Greenwood softball team they've got some promise. They got to shore up some defense down there. And kind of like with the Bulldogs baseball team, they've just got to get a little camaraderie, get on the same page, get everybody fighting together.
Are they young?
They're a little bit of everything. They only have 3 or 4 seniors, I think. 23-14, Greenbrier over Russellville in softball.
Wow.
I don't think they scored that much in their football meeting this year. Here's Grant Carnes up on top. He'll face Peyton Bashir, their catcher, leading off the bottom of the second. And that's in there for a called strike.
I'd say that's, Alma beating Siloam 5-1 is huge because Alma wasn't picked to finish in the top 4 in baseball.
Okay. They got a split, I think, in the first week with Harrison, right?
Okay. Yeah, they did.
The second one is.
And if somebody wants to know where those picks, where I saw those were my own personal picks. I didn't pick Alma in the top half of the conference. So
right,
I do the same with the horses too.
Right, 1-1. Carnes up on top. He'll kick and fire into Peyton Bashir. Swing and a miss. Good pitch. That's a breaking ball.
Hey, finish the deal.
When you talk about mile per hour difference in 7 or 8 miles per hour, and you're throwing low 80s, that's tough in high school.
Here's a 1-2 from Carnes. He's ready up on top. And Bashir right back to Carnes. Oh, field your position. He'll scoot over, underhanded over to first base. 1-3, and nothing better than a pitcher that can fill his position.
Well, and going back to the score of Alma and Siloam, that tells me, and Alma's young. I mean, they're starting, I think, 2 or 3 ninth graders and 10th graders. Wow. So, I mean, they're young. But what that tells me is somebody's waiting for somebody to take charge at the top.
Yep.
And hopefully Dr. Smith just went and told Coach Buren, he knows it, because, man, this is where you can grab it right here. You can grab first place and be the out front favorite.
What about Mountain Home? Did we see what they did? Do we know?
Don't know what they did. They're probably the favorite, aren't they?
I would assume. Strike call to Caleb Adams from Carnes. Carnes doing a great job of getting ahead in every count. Retired 4 in a row here to start it off for the Bulldogs. They lead 1-0 bottom second. This is their left fielder, Caleb Adams. And Grant, the sophomore, up on top. Carnes kicks and fires. That's in there for a called strike. Just nasty.
You saw his knees buckle, and he was going out of the way.
0-2. Well, we talked about people having their stuff and not having their stuff. Carnes is dialed in right now. Sweet Moses. Here comes the 0-2. Yeah! That's in there. Oh, it's too high. A little bit high. 1-2.
Oh, how was that high?
A little bit too high.
By the way, Carnes just reared back and probably added about 3 miles an hour to his fastball.
Here's the 1-2.
He knew it. He knew it.
Yep. Carnes looking for a new sign. He's got it. Now he's ready. Bring the gas. Here it is. Up, it's in there. Rack him up.
That's right.
Crank the chainsaw. 2 down now. 5 batters, 4 Ks for Grant Carnes. Here is Ethan Bowen, their first baseman.
But now Greenwood, they lead off with the top of the lineup. They have to put runs on the board because if not, again, you're not probably going to have Grant for 7 innings. So you want to go ahead and put them out now.
Yep.
I mean, they're ripe for the taking. They're not seeing the ball. They're swinging, whiffing. I mean, They're not even making near contact.
And strike at the knees to Bowen. Sometimes you just got to grin and bear it.
That's right.
2 outs, bottom of the second. Bulldogs up 1-0. Carnes settling into what's shaping up to be a masterpiece so far. Swing and a miss from Bowen, 0-2.
Better knock on wood.
The sophomores wheeling and dealing so far. Bowen digs in from the right side. Grant up on top, looking for maybe his 5th K and 6 batters. He'll step off, ask for a new sign. I think we're going to go with the Lou Brown. Forget about the curveball. Give him the heater.
Just don't leave it over the plate.
Hey, go to touches if we can't see it.
Carnes steps off again. Here comes the 0-2. Fastball just outside. Bulldogs running off the field. They thought it was strike 3. We'll do it again, 1-2.
Hey, we're good. Keep throwing, keep throwing. Body language, let's go, let's go.
Oh, that's
Let's go.
Here's Carnes up top, the 1-2 to Ethan Bowen.
curveball. Nope.
He's swinging a
Fastball.
miss. And nobody happier than the home plate blue.
Blew by you.
Doesn't have to worry about making the.
No runs, no hits, no errors. No walks.
Well, we've seen 6 batters. Carnes has struck out 5.
Very nice.
2 innings complete in game 2 of this doubleheader. Brought to you in part by some of our Grand Slam sponsors. J&H Automation Engineering.
We need a crooked one.
Adams Health and Wellness. Scott N. Branton Architects. Hey, Duck's Body Shop, they love big hits when it comes to Bulldog baseball, but not when it comes to your vehicle. You get an accident, call Duck's Body Shop in Mansfield, 479-928-5516. The place to go to get your ride looking right. Duck's Body Shop proudly supports Greenwood baseball. 928-5516. Thank you to the Carson family. And the Travis family at West Fraser Lumber Mill over in Mansfield. They proudly support Greenwood Bulldog Athletics. West Fraser in Mansfield. Top of the order for the Bulldogs.
This is where you want. I mean, this is why you put an order, a batting order, is you expect your guys at the top to get on. So we've been hitting the ball, making good contact. Well, now we need to get runners on base and help Carnes out. So much easier to pitch when you've got a lead. I know 1 run's a lead, but it's not a safe lead.
I agree.
Leading off the top of the 3rd for Greenwood.
So,
Baseman number 1, Dawson Holt.
here's Holt to lead off the 3rd. Flied out to right field to start the ball game in the 1st inning. Kai Henry back to work for Van Buren. Up on top, a righty-righty matchup. Here comes, and it's in there. He put both
fingers up.
Ball 1. And I kind of like that, too. You really can't miss. Good double duty. You got 1 kid on second, 1 kid at the plate in Baum Stadium. And another hit for the Bulldogs. That's their 5th here in game 2.
You can probably expect a bunt.
And Carnes up at the plate. He singled his last time up, scored a run.
Time to go. Find a barrel.
First and second. We'll see what Coach Brewer thinks here. You talked about the small ball deal, but he thinks maybe big inning, huh?
Yes. Well, and that's where he wants to get to.
Yep.
Now, if Greenwood plays good defensively and gets good pitching, then he don't have to play small ball this early.
Well, he's certainly seen good pitching from this guy at the plate so far. Let's see what. Nope, Carnes squares, and the bunt's fouled.
And that's the 2-for-1, trying to drag bunt, get one. There's nothing wrong with that when you got somebody with speed.
Two and two to Peyton Holt at Baum Stadium. Here's the 0-1 to Carnes.
Pitch was down.
1-0. Greenwood leads here. They're in a chance to get to Kai Henry here in the top of the third. Maybe bust this thing open. Bashir comes out. He'll run through the signs. Sets his defense for the Pointers, and Carnes will climb back in. Mm. 0-1 to Carnes. Here it comes. Carnes squares a bunt, bunts it down the third baseline. Third baseman charges Seeger over to first. They get the out. The sacrifice is good. Their runners move up. 1 down now, and here's Pettigrew. Holt will round into a double play for the Hogs, and need to tell him to leave that stupid helmet alone coming out of the batter's box.
I know, right? You know, when you're at that level, there's so much pressure to hit. If you don't hit, they're just going to put someone else there. Unless you're one of the main guys that's there on money. I mean, you don't get the long leash.
Nope. Here's Pettigrew. Fouls that one back. Boy, he'd like to have that one back. That was an old fat hanger right there that he couldn't square up. 0-1 now to Brady Pettigrew. Runners at second and third now. Carnes moved him up with a sack bunt. Henry will step off the slab. Look to coach. We need a ball. He wants a new ball. We don't have any baseball. Here comes one in.
If we can play without him, you can get one whenever the pitch is off. Let's get baseball.
We could play without what?
A ball. Home plate blue struggling to get him in his pouch. One strike to count.
There's no way that the History Channel, Lifetime, somebody didn't pick up to come make a live production of this with Burr and Sandifer and Adams.
Boy. I think Brendan Rodgers is roaming around there at some point sometimes. Amazing. Here comes the 0-1 to Pettigrew. Outside, 1-1.
Here's the thing. I know you don't have the stats, but I know just from memory, he doesn't strike out a lot. He puts the ball in play. And so all you want him to do with infield in here, just put it in play hard enough to get through the infield, and you scored 2.
I do have that stat. I'll give it to you in a minute. Here's Pettigrew's 1-1. And he got out of the way of that one, 2-1. Harassed by the dugout to wear that. Pettigrew's got 6 strikeouts on the year coming into tonight. I don't think he struck out in game 1. Here's the 2-1. 1 out in the top of the third. This ball's in the air a mile high, but the center fielder's drawn a bead. It's going to be deep enough to tag. The tag is clean at third, and the sacrifice is good. Holt will score. And there's 2 outs.
Yep. That's, Tony's telling Harrison that's a good job. That's exactly what he's supposed to do. He's going. I mean, at this level, you got to assume it's going to be a catch. I mean, you're going to miss 1 out of 100 of those.
Yes.
And probably not going to score anyway. So go ahead and tag.
Here's Aiden Kennan now. Struck out his first time up to end the first inning. Henry checks on Adams at second. He's got a big lead back there. They're not holding him. He come home with it, and it's outside ball 1.
He almost did there. He just got a late break.
Home plate blue wanted to ring that one up, but he got his fingers right. 1 ball count. Henry checks on Adams. Comes home. Off speed's way upstairs, 2-0. Now let's see if Kenny can set on something. Henry's a good enough pitcher. He'll give him something served up in there. He don't want to go 3-0 to this guy. Kennan waiting. Adams gets a lead at second. 2 outs, top of the third, 2-0 Bulldogs. And Kennan rips it right back up the box, but a good play from the shortstop, but he took him to the ground. And safe, he's safe.
Now, this was interesting because both the umpires called that play at third. You're watching the guy out here in the field because he's the guy who's supposed to call it. I'm watching the umpire back here, and he's calling safe too. What if they would have both been calling different things?
Well, to be honest with you, home plate blue, I thought went with a ring up at first and then called safe. Another hit for the Bulldogs. Kennan with a nice rip single. Runners at the corners for Skaggs. Skaggs doubled his last time up. Another double here would be nice. We'll see what Kennan's wheels look like if he can score from first. Come on, Braden. Here it comes from Henry. He's swinging first pitch, a high chopper, charged by the shortstop. Over to first. Nicely done from Dudley at shortstop. Well, the Bulldogs had a little excitement, if nothing else, in the top of the third inning.
If we can score 1 run every other inning and hold them to 0, we'll still win this ball game.
3 hits on 1 run. We left 2 on base. Middle of the third inning. Bulldogs 2, Van Buren 0. We'll take a timeout. It's Greenwood baseball on the Sports Hog 103.5 Greenwood Sports Center. Uno momento. Did we ever go off air or was it just here locally? Well, I guess not because we didn't have to call you back. Never mind. We lost sound for a minute here. We panicked, but we just kept going because we're professional.
That's what she taught us to do.
Hope y'all are enjoying on the live stream. Yes, you're welcome, Aunt Brenda.
They have no idea. You know, there's a lot of college teams, Division III, Division II, JUCO, some Division I's probably, that don't have the streaming services that Greenwood Sports Center has. It's crazy.
Right. Oh, Sean does a great job. All the guys involved. Hope y'all are enjoying it.
I am, dude.
All right. We're back here at the Field of Dreams. Dan Buren, Tim Terry, Keith Holt, glad to have you aboard. Game 2 of this twin bill in the 5A West. The Bulldogs and the Pointers. Greenwood leading 2-0. And Grant Carnes is knee-deep in what could be a masterpiece here in Game 2. He'll have Matthew Nichols, their second base, up to bat. Carnes up on top of the slab. He's ready. The righty sophomore kicks and fires. And that's in there for a too high, ball 1.
Well, Carnes has made a big habit this game of getting ahead early. He's got to continue to do that and go after these hitters because these hitters have not touched him up hard yet.
Swing and a miss from Nichols, 1-1.
Chuck really only at 41.
Defense has to stay on their toes, Keith. We've seen good pitching masterpieces before from Greenwood through the years, and sometimes them guys will get on their heels back there. Somebody will reach out and get a bat on one.
Well, and as a defender, the ones that really compete, the ones that competitive, they're thinking, okay, I'm going to keep my pitcher in this. You know, they're ready for their pitcher.
Yeah.
The guys that are like just kind of ho-hum, those are the guys that, I mean, I don't know if Greenwood has any of those out there.
Go to touches or something if you can't see it.
Well, and Carnes is saying he's having trouble seeing the sign down when he's in the crouch. May have to get some. They have obviously go to signs and touches. You know, if you instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, it's 1, 2, 3. How many touches you have?
Yes.
Get him some fingernail polish or some tape back there, Buster Posey style. Here's Carnes 2-1. It's upstairs. 3-1 now to Matthew Nichols. He's their second baseman. Mason Dowman out on deck. And then Dylan Dudley. Called strike. Full count. Let's see if Carnes can keep the momentum going here. That ball's lifted to the left, and Skaggs on his horse draws the bead. Nicely done out in the night sky for out number 1.
That's the first ball that's been hit hard off Carnes. It just got underneath it. Good job of Skaggs running back, catching just that shy of the warning track.
Yep. Here's Mason Dowman, their right fielder. with one out in the bottom of the third. Greenwood leading 2-0.
The right fielder.
Looking to get a sweep here and get a stranglehold on the top of this 5A West. At least stay up there on the top. No worse than tied. We'll keep an eye on what Mountain Home's doing this evening. Dalmat's a right-handed bat. They're all righties tonight except for their center fielder, Presley Nichols, and that's high and tight for a ball.
So Alma split with Harrison last week.
Yes.
They split with Siloam Springs.
They did today?
Well, they're going to split with Siloam Springs this week.
Didn't they win game one or no?
Yes.
There's a chopper, a little dribbler, and it goes foul. Now fielded good. Bashir let it go, and it's 1-1. Dalmat will have to jog back and do it again.
Beep, beep,
Right?
beep.
Little reverse beeper.
Yeah.
Carnes up on top. 5 Ks already. Through 7 outs in this game, too. The sophomore's focused right now. Up on top. And he kicks and fires. Breaking balls in there for ball. 2-1.
That was a great pitch. I think it fooled. He's saying it's up, but I'm pretty sure he just got fooled by it.
Yes. Here's the 2-1. You have to get down with the swing at one here and get a help us out. Yeah, there you go. 2-2. You obviously don't want to keep throwing fastballs, but
Now come back with the curveball again.
well, you'd like to keep it. Can home plate blue help you? I mean, there's strategy, and then there's got to adjust to the umps. How about Gas? And he fouled it back into the net.
And Carnes is a sophomore. When he gets to where he can place his fastball and he can put that thing inside, outside, and with that breaking ball,
Pop-up slide next time.
ooh,
Yeah, he got a huge upside. Here it comes. This one's up in the air, a mile high and out of play.
and I believe that was off speed. So now you're going to see probably another fastball.
Run rule win for the Razorbacks, 16-3. 2-2 here.
Hey, be good one time for us.
Mason Dalmat climbs in that right side for Van Buren. Here's Carnes' offering, and it's ripped to center. Mitchell just drifts to his right. No problem. A couple of flyouts here in the third for Carnes. And there's 2 down. And Dylan Dudley is their 9-hole. He's their shortstop. He's the last chance for Van Buren here in the third inning. Bulldogs lead 2-0. 1 in the first, 1 in the third.
The shortstop, number 20, Dylan Dudley.
Carnes up on top.
It's like I got a new walk-up.
Dudley in the all whites. He's got a lot of black dirt on him. Strike called to their shortstop.
One thing you don't want, and Coach Brewer's going to get to figure out what these guys are made of. You see your pitcher doing great. You don't want to just start relaxing and say, oh, he'll do it all. You still got to stay aggressive at the plate and score runs.
Swing and a miss.
Great
0-2.
off-speed pitch.
Well, let's see if Carnes can blow one by him here. Well, they can't touch that fastball so far. 0-2. Dudley digs in. Here it comes from Grant. It's Gas. He got him. Racked the chainsaw.
Hey, right here.
Well, Carnes has went through the lineup one time. He's faced the minimum. That is his 6th strikeout. 3 innings in the book. Greenwood 2, Van Buren 0.
For Van Buren,
We'll take a break. Greenwood Sports Center and the Sports Hog 103.5.
Man, that's going to be the only issue. Oh,
30.
30.
Yeah, if I
Is
can.
when you
Or a
strike,
minute, whatever you got, baby. Huh?
when you strike out that many people, your pitch counts.
ladies and gentlemen, could I have your attention, please?
I figure we
We
get
have a
running.
white Chevy Equinox, license plate 504 VWF. That is blocking someone in. We need you to move. White Chevy Equinox 504 VWF. Thank you.
Come on.
All right.
Let's go. Tie game. Let's go.
We're back here at the Field of Dreams. Lady Bulldogs up 4-1 in Game 2 in softball over the Lady Pointers, who I kind of think we're kind of favored coming into today. But girls trying to get a split over there, just over on Pointer Trail. So good for Coach Donald Hart, his first year at the helm of the Lady Bulldogs. Michael Passage, his assistant, his first year over at the diamond for the Lady Bulldogs of Greenwood, assistant coach. It'll be Weston Pashear, Austin Bircher, Austin Mitchell here in the fourth inning. Greenwood need to get some more runs, just keep building, keep grinding, get confidence at the plate. Now's the time. Kai Henry's throwing strikes. He's throwing some velocity as well, so it's a quality pitcher that you're going to see down the line. You got to be able to rip it.
That's right. And up and down the lineup. You know, I've seen lineups that, well, it's top heavy or bottom heavy. This has got to be consistent. That's all we need is it to be. You can't have such a disparity in the top and the bottom. As once you get down to 6, 7, 8, you're like, oh, here we go. And Bircher's been hitting the ball hard.
There you go.
Pashear hit the ball hard.
That's down for extra bases in right center field. Weston around first, and he will be in there with a double. Hey!
Boy, the right fielder did an excellent job of getting that ball in, because I thought it was an easy stand-up double, and it was closer than it looked.
Very close. Boy, that's a nice and a great shot, too, out there.
If the second baseman handles that, it may be a little different.
That's Mason Dowman out there in right. He threw a BB in there to second. A leadoff double. There you go. We got the bottom half, a third of the order. Now the Austin boys. Here's Bircher first. Popped out to first base. His first time up. He's in the 8 hole. Set dead red Keith. He's been throwing first pitch strikes. 7th hit for Greenwood. There you go. Rip away, but comebacker right to Henry. He goes to third, and he's going to tag out the lead runner, Bircher. Got caught a little bit with his hand in the cookie jar.
And that's the base running. You got to let it clear the pitcher first. I mean, it's always at you or behind you, you go, but it has to clear the pitcher, and he didn't let it give Henry credit for turning and getting the runner going.
Yep, he didn't even hesitate. He thought, I bet he's trying to sneak to third, and he caught him. 1-5 on the put out. And so now it's a runner at first. Bircher's on with the fielder's choice. And Austin Mitchell, who hit it hard to center field his first time up to end the second inning. He'll do it again here with 1 out. Henry up on top. Off speeds in there for a called strike.
And Coach probably needs to have a sit-down evaluation with each player. And ones that have made mistakes, have them not play aggressive, play cautious. The ones that haven't, just say, hey, you get to be aggressive until you make a mistake.
Yeah, no doubt.
Because that's one of those plays that could be huge.
That's outside, 1-1.
Because he's still going to get Bircher at first. It's still a fielder's choice, but we got a runner in scoring position now instead of at first base.
Yep. Mitchell from the right side waits on Kai Henry's 1-1 offering. A right-handed hurler for the Pointers. Holtz out on deck. That ball's low, and there goes the runner. Bircher got a nice jump, and he is called out. Boy, that's tough. Thought he was in there. He's called out. I didn't like that one, Keith. I thought he made it.
It was really everything kind of was in his face. I didn't see what kind of jump he had, but if his lead is like anybody else's, it's just not big enough. We're too timid, thinking we're going to get picked off, and we're just not getting big enough jumps.
I think the ball beat him there for sure, but I think the tag got down late. I think he was in there. Nonetheless, swing and a miss from Mitchell, and it's 1-2 now to the Greenwood center fielder.
And that's what we're talking about with the base running. That's why it's a liability late in the season, and you can't make it far in the state tournament because you just had 2 base runners negated by poor base running.
Off speeds, pull cue to first base. He'll glove it Bill Buckner style and make the play. No problem, though. Didn't let it go through the wickets. 3 unassisted if you're scoring at home. Well, we played 3.5 now. The Bulldogs lead 2-0. I will contend that I think the call was wrong a second. Whether
I didn't, and
it would go down as a base running
you're probably
gap,
right. Because it was a low throw. Catcher had to reach down to get it, and he took 2 steps to throw it. So everything was in Bircher's favor. I didn't see it because the on-deck batter, Dawson, was in the way.
Right.
But if you thought it was a late tag, then
I
it
did.
probably
I
was.
thought the ball beat him, and it kind of hopped up, and it took the short or whoever was covering his glove up, and he had to come back down and pop tag, and I didn't think he got there in time. Still 2-0 Greenwood, middle of the 4th inning. Tim Terry, Keith Holt, glad to have you aboard here on a chilly Tuesday on the banks of Lee Creek over here at the Field of Dreams.
Carnes at 45 pitches, which pitch count you can't be a strikeout pitcher and keep pitch counts low because you're going to average 5, maybe 6 pitches per batter. He's averaged right at 5 per batter, or
That's
per
15,
every out.
Absolutely.
And it's not bad, but you're up to 45 in the 3rd through 3 innings. So it's 90 through 6. So you hope to get through 7, and which would be perfect ideally. I'm okay if he wants to strike out everybody from here on out.
No doubt. Absolutely. Tonight's game sponsored in part by MSG Waste Services, Heath Borum, Craig Giggert, State Farm, J&H Automation Engineering, Mr. Richard Halstead. Appreciate all of our Grand Slam sponsors. All of our sponsors down the line.
Leading off the
All right.
fourth for Van Buren. Be the pitcher, number 1.
The top of the order for the Pointers.
Top.
This is the leadoff, Malachi Henry. He struck out his first time up to the bottom of the 1st. Carnes back to work. That's in there for a called strike.
Great first pitch.
2-0 Greenwood, bottom of the 4th. Henry waits on the 0-1. Fastball just missed low, 1-1.
Wow. And I'm gonna put that on Baylor. Baylor's got to sell that better.
Yep.
I mean that was right at the bottom of the zone, and he just kind of carried it lower.
Here's a 1-1. And nearly got him. A little chin music. Carnes came with the heat, buzzed the tower. Henry got out of the way, 2-1 to count.
Now you've got him thinking about getting hit. Now you come back with that curveball. Set it inside. Watch those knees buckle.
2-1 to count. Carnes up on top. He's ready. And lifts this one to right. Drawing a bead and making the catch in right field for the Bulldogs is Bircher. 1 down. Here is Presley Nichols. He struck out looking his first time up, a left-handed bat.
Now batting.
Did we ever determine Bircher's a junior, correct?
Presley Nichols.
Do you have a sheet?
I do. It's funny, these guys we're slowly getting older, and I don't know anybody anymore. It's a little bit disheartening. Bircher's a 2024. He is a junior. Ball 1 to Presley Nichols. Carnes up on top. He'll kick and fire. There's a ball ripped to short. Holt gobbles it up. Over to first. 2 down. 4-3 on the putout. 11 up, 11 down so far for Carnes.
Just don't hit anything right at him. You'll be okay.
Good play for Dawson when running glove side. Made a nice play to end the first game as well. Up the middle of the hole, a little flip to the shortstop. Adams.
It was a good backhand. He's a tall kid, and to reach over and to be able to backhand it, maintain your posture, and give the second baseman. I thought it was a great play.
Here's Clark Seeger. Struck out looking his first time up. As Carnes struck out the side in order in the top of the first. Swing and a miss. I tipped that maybe, I think, just a bit. Strike 1 either way. 2 down here, bottom of the 4th. Bulldogs lead 2-0. Carnes up on top. He'll kick and fire. Curveball just missed inside.
What's that condition where you hear ringing all the time?
Whatever's going on in our headphones. 1-1.
I did have it.
Well, I didn't notice it for a long time, and then here it is. But we'll survive. Seeger rips this one to center right at
there you go.
The center fielder.
Good
Austin
efficient
Mitchell.
inning. How many pitches did he throw?
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Wow.
3 up, 3 down again for Grant Carnes.
No runs and no hits.
Through 4 innings, he's faced the minimum.
The funny thing is, he's such a kid. Carnes saw the live mic over by the dugout a while ago, and at the first of the game, he kind of went into it and said, "We're going to run this." And kind of looked over and said, "Is it hot?" I was like, "Yeah." I was like,
Oh, and tip your hat to Sean Holland for putting the hot mic right in the coach's box. So that we don't have a mute button. Now, the good thing, well, I don't know if you can hear that on the radio broadcast, the hot mic over there. So we may be okay that way. Now, on the live stream, there's no FCC regulations, so it's a free-for-all.
"Oh, yeah. Might as well be on TikTok."
Wow, that's right. Yeah. 2-0 Bulldogs here. We go to the top of the order. The doctor's up, Dawson Holt.
Well, and having all the road games is not in our favor because we've always said split on the road, sweep at home. And we go to Harrison next week, and they split with
Alma last week.
So I would think, if we continue to improve and don't have base running, we should have. And again, here's what I know about Alma. They're young. I don't know anything else except they're really young. Usually that's not great in baseball. And they don't have that overpowering pitcher. So they're playing right now with just grit, probably getting people to throw strikes and playing good defense behind them, and probably a little luck. That's always involved. But if they split with Harrison, I would say right now unequivocally we should sweep them again. So, you got to finish this and get 4-0 before you can worry about 5-0 and 6-0.
Here's Doc Holt. First one's upstairs. Mountain Homes 2-0 coming into today, and Greenbrier's 2-0 coming into today.
And we knew Greenbrier had the one pitcher. The Husky kid graduated. They had 2 pitchers last year. They still got the one.
Right. Doc Holt, 1 for 2, scored a run. This one's ripped to left. He's 2 for 3. Boy, Dawson's swinging it, Keith. I know you're excited about that. He's hitting the ball well. He's seeing it well.
Well, and again, it's there's mechanical things once you fixed it. We had a conversation before the game, and when your front side shifts, it lifts your whole body at an angle to lift the ball up. He was lifting the ball up, and he's smart enough and athletic enough. He made those adjustments, and you're seeing it this game. And I'm proud for him to be coachable and be able to make adjustments.
Here's Harrison Adams. Speaking of swinging it well today, he's been red hot this evening. He's 1 for 2, also single. And looks at one upstairs, ball 1.
Of course, there's no way coach is going to give him steal because he's only like 3 steps. Dawson's about 6'1". Would you say he's 6'1"?
Yeah.
And he's about 5'9" off the base.
Right. Yeah, he can just step over and get back if they throw
step over.
Oh. Adams in the right batter's box now. Time call, and Henry wants to.
And I have no doubt the catcher is going to go out there and tell the pitcher, say, "Dude, don't even worry about the guy first. He's not even 2 steps fully off the base."
Right. It's beautiful. Here's Harrison Adams. 1 ball count. Swing and a miss.
That either was guessing or he lost it because that was an awkward swing.
It was. He's kind of all arms out in front of it.
Yes, very much.
Yeah. Here's a 1-1. I think he was guessing. That would be my bet.
I think you're probably right. He'd started his swing, and it was a good pitch by Malachi.
Yep. He's checking on Holt. He's going to throw over. Dawson's in there safely.
Of course.
Yeah.
I mean,
the bad thing was he made it closer than it should have been.
That's probably why he's close. That's probably why he's 4 foot 3 inches off the back.
Here's the 1-1. Adams waiting on it up at the plate. Henry checks on Holt. He'll come home. And that was upstairs. And boy, it's one that Adams wanted to just hacksaw out of here. Fouls it up over the top, straight back. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
If you've never played baseball, for a lot of you listening, if you've never played and you've never picked off, there's probably nothing more embarrassing than getting picked off a base and having to walk back to the dugout. It's very embarrassing.
It certainly makes me mad when people get picked off.
it's
just broadcasting. I don't care whose kids.
Oh, I have plenty.
Yeah.
I have plenty.
Here's the 1-2. Harrison Adams. Outside, 2-2.
I'll never forget when I stole a base at Arkansas Tech. I stole a base, and the shortstop said, "Hey, foul ball, dude." And I started walking off the field, and they tagged me.
Oh, boy.
And Coach Harpino, who's now at Southside, he's definitely more calm now than he was.
Henry brings the 2-2 home. Off speed, Adams pops it up. Who's got it? First baseman gets it right in foul ground for out number 1. One down here in the top of the 5th. Bulldogs lead 2-0. And Grant Carnes, who's pitching tonight for Greenwood, singled, scored a run in the first, and has a sack bunt in the second. No, in the third. Yeah, got it. Move the runners up.
If you see the lights on Greenwood baseball field on in about an hour, it'll be Dawson and me working with him on getting a lead at first.
Gotcha. Breaking ball, called strike. Just caught the knees of Grant Carnes. He's hoping he'll get that pitch in the next half inning. 0-1.
He's still got such a swag about him. It's nice to see that Greenwood's getting their swag back in baseball.
Yes. Henry waits, peeks over at first. Holt's there, comes home. There's a breaking ball. Oh, check swing of Tapper. Gobbled at third, pulls him off. And Holt moves to second. Carnes is on. They call it a hit.
Did it pull him off? Yeah, they gave it a hit. Did it pull him? Would it have been? Well, I think the throw was tough and it's got to be a hit.
Yes, I agree. Seeger made a great play on it. A little check swing from Carnes. That's a power hitter.
It's the Major League first at bat by Wesley Snipes.
Right? Say whoops. Yeah, that's exactly what he said. One down. Here's Pettigrew. Come on, big fly.
About both of them as fast as he.
Yeah, right. And strike called. A little off speeder to Brady Pettigrew.
Gosh, Pettigrew's got to be so happy being in that spot to where, you've got people get on in front of you. It's Adams, Holt, or Carnes that's just got speed. That's just, they're looking and itching to score.
Sack fly and an RBI double. This ball's lifted to right field. Ball's caught. Tag is clean from Holt. He'll get to third base. 2 down for Aiden Kennan.
A friend told me about a situation once I think it was in Russellville, about a kid that tagged, and it was about just exactly like that. And they,
oh gosh, just horrible.
Do you remember that?
Just horrible. That cost us.
Was that last year?
Yes. We went back and watched the replay a million times. So here's Kennan now. Last chance for Greenwood here in the top of the 5th. They've scored a run in every odd inning. It's 2-0. They scored 1 in the first, 1 in the third. Let's see if Kennan can get an RBI. That's in the dirt. Ball 1.
Baseball is if nothing symmetrical. It's usually there's yin yang, up down, highs lows. It's all opposite this. We'll score here for no other reason than we've scored every other inning.
Right. And I hope Kennan does it. Got to hit his last at bat. He's 1 for 2.
I'm thinking a pass ball here.
2 hits tonight. And a little bit high from home plate blue. 2-0.
Wow, Weatherford's about to get frustrated.
2-0.
I just don't want the umpire to get discouraged. He's getting better.
Right, I agree. He's showing some mechanics at least. Greenbrier won game 2 over Russell 5-0. And that's in there for a called strike.
I know that's not what you want 2-0, but again, hit the hanger because you don't want to put it back in his court and let the pitcher have control over your strike zone.
Right. 2-1, still a hitter's count. Henry up on top. He'll check the runners at the corner for Greenwood. And low. Oh! Called that a strike.
Did he really?
He did. That ball bounced in. Maybelline makeup call of the night. Sponsored by Maybelline. 2-2. Yeah, you got to fight. That's right. Hey.
Anything close, foul it off, get another pitch.
2-2. Deuce is wild. 2 outs here for Aiden Kennan. Runners and a bag swipe by Carnes. Catcher's indifference out there. Took second. Kennan rips one, but right at the third baseman. Seeger 1 step to his left. No problem. Ball he'd squared up. Hit it right out of the old Adam ball.
Greenwood in the top of the fifth. There were no runs on 2 hits.
We left 2
Errors
on base.
on base.
Had a couple hits. No runs, though. Still 2-0 as we meander into the bottom of the 5th inning.
You know, I love how Coach gets them on a stopwatch to where he wants them to get out there and play. And it just, the pace of the game, their energy level stays up. I mean, that's something, as soon as I saw them do that, I took that with the younger kids, the 8th graders that we coached from Greenwood, and said, look, you now have 15 to 20 seconds to get your stuff. There's no excuse to get in there because that's what you're going to have to do at high school. I mean, he's setting a standard that all the younger teams, it's like Pitbull program.
Right.
Just tell us what you want, and we'll do what you do. That way when they get there, you know, the first thing we do every day is base running now because I'm not going to feed baseball players that don't know how to run the bases.
Yep.
That should be everybody at, you know, Carnes at Arkansas Select. They should be doing base running. I mean, this is obvious. This is a problem that you can't continue to win championships with poor base running. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, 100%. And like you said, we had the problem for a while of getting guys on base.
That's right. That's right.
And we've remedied that. We've got guys swinging the bat well. The hitting's there. But, I mean, I agree 100%, Keith. And that's not sour grapes or picking on a kid. That's just, in general, it's a fact. And every mom and dad and grandma in the crowd at home watching is going, why do we keep getting picked off, or how do we do what's happening there?
Well, and Josh, the problem is it's deeper than that, to where, let's say you go play and you're at the youth organization to where most of the kids go play travel ball. You can get away with a lot of stuff.
Sure.
That's not real baseball. You
Right.
can get away with it. Well, they don't know any different. They come out here, they think, well, I can do that because I did it for 5 years. And it's just, they got to be taught, and maybe it's something Coach needs to go over there and show those coaches and say, do this, make sure it's held to these standards.
Right.
And anyway.
I agree with you. Here's Carnes back to work, bottom of the 5th, and you got Peyton Pashears swinging and missing. Strike 1.
That's either a slider. I meant to ask his dad if that was a slider or just a sharp, just a sharper curveball.
0-1 count. Grant Carnes up on top. And called strike. 0-2.
If he can get that pitch in that spot with that call, you're unhittable. You can't hit that pitch.
Bashir didn't like it. He said, hey, man, I'm catching them. The other team, give us that all night.
Oh, yeah.
Here's the 0-2. Kicks and fires. That's outside.
At least it wasn't down the middle.
That makes it easier for all of us. Home plate blue like that one,
Now
too.
you got him looking away. Now come in with a fastball, bust in on his hands. You had him looking way away, leaning out. Nope, going back outside.
Here's the 1-2. This ball's off the fists and fouled out of play over to Greenwood's dugout.
There's one philosophy in hitting with 2 strikes that says just take away one third of the plate. Like pick 2/3 of the plate. You're looking for the ball, and if that pitcher manages to hit that spot that you're not looking at, that's just good for him.
Fastball, blew it by him. Swing and a miss. 1 down here in the bottom of the 5th. That is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th strikeout for Carnes here. I'll go back to your roulette analogy. You play the thirds a lot, 1 through 12, 13 through 24, 25 through 36. You can play 2 of those every time. They pays 3 to 1. So if you bet $10 and he hits on one of them, you win 15. So you can win $5 playing the thirds.
Right.
Just take out a third of the wheel.
Makes it easier. I
Yes.
mean, your chances, and it's the same way hitting. There's a lot of people that have that philosophy.
Right.
What?
Now your good ones
Help us
don't
out,
take away any
dugout.
thirds.
Stay in the game.
They're able to hit all 3 thirds of it.
Right.
But if you're just an average hitter, then take away whatever's your weakest spot and go with the other 2. If it's outside, then say, okay, I'm only going to swing. I'm ready for these 2.
1 ball to Adams, who squared the bunt. This time he takes a hack at a fastball, fouls it straight back up over the top. 1-1.
When you're up 2-0, it's the bottom of the 5th, and teams start trying to bunt for hits, they're desperate. I mean, Shears is not playing deep. He hasn't been playing deep, so it's not like Carnes can cover this side with Pettigrew back. So you just become desperate. And as a coach and as a pitcher, you're like, yes, I've got him where I want him.
Here's the 1-1 from Grant Carnes. A little chin music. Adams at the duck under it for Van Buren. He's their left fielder. He struck out looking his first time up in the 2nd inning. Carnes needs a new ball. That new ball's not rubbed in enough. Blue will get him a new one. We got somebody running down foul balls out there somewhere. Bottom of the fifth, Greenwood leading 2-0. One down here. Here's a 2-1 from Carnes to Caleb Adams. Swing and a miss. 2-2. I told you about halfway through the second inning that Carnes is setting up a masterpiece here tonight.
I told you that against Booville the other day. I mean, if he throws this, imagine this. Go ahead.
That ball's in there for a called strike. Got him looking. A backwards K.
I think Brewer helped call that one because as soon as it pitched and he did it, the umpire, I think, hurt him and went ahead and chainsawed him.
Here's Ethan Bowen, now their first baseman. He struck out his first time up.
But imagine this. I mean, Kennan gets on his game. He didn't pitch as great.
Right.
And you've got Hunter and you've got Mitchell. I mean, that's what you play a doubleheader in conference.
Yeah.
I mean, if we will hit and play defense, there's no reason we're not top 3 for sure.
Oh, yes. Swing and a miss, and the fastball blew it by Bowen. And our defense has been stellar tonight, and hopefully they can just keep gaining the confidence. The one error.
Well, our guys, those 4 when they're on, they're no one's going to score more than 2 runs off of them.
Yep.
And I'll give them 2.
Yep.
But then as an offense, you got to score more than 2.
Breaking ball, miss.
Oh, he called
1-1.
He
No,
called it?
he said it was outside. 1-1.
But he pointed. I thought we determined that was his strike.
Well, but that was an outside point.
Oh, gotcha.
Right. Carnes up on top.
I'm trying to get a tail from you. Yeah, I'm trying to get a tail from the umpire.
Right. That's in there for a called strike.
There it was.
That's where you need to get your wife involved because she plays Texas Hold'em pretty well.
Well, she's patient. She's very patient.
Yeah.
And she's good at reading men because I give her all of my personalities and she can read each one of them.
And you've got plenty. That's a fact.
Easy.
Oh, here's the 1-2 from Carnes. And Bowen ready. And just outside.
Gosh.
Luckily for Hosley, he doesn't crank up and go around the horn. Then we'll know there's some shenanigans.
Carnes has got to be very careful, though, because people's going to think he's a pitcher.
Right. Here's a 2-2 from Grant Carnes. Yeah! Struck it, rack him out, direct the chainsaw. Struck out the side in order again for Grant Carnes. And here comes Coach Weatherford, and he is going to try his best to get tossed out of here. We played 5 innings of baseball. Greenwood leading 2-0 over Van Buren. We'll take a timeout. Greenwood Sports Center and the Sports Hog 103.5. One minute.
I just want to tell Coach Weatherford we've had that exact same zone. It's been the same zone for both of us.
Well, I told Brandon the way he'd get tossed first before this guy. We'll see. Yep, right. The Blues helping him out. He's explained it to him.
He is. All he needs to do is just tell him where his zone is.
Yep. All right.
But that's why they pick up their checks before the games.
Hopefully.
I know they do because I watched that one walk up to Greenwood. Steve Jones walked up to Greenwood when they were there the other day. That's the first thing he did when he got there is went up and said, "Hey, where do I pick up my check?"
Well, I doubt they carpool, so he probably did get his, just in case he's got to get out
That's
quickly.
true. He's probably, more seasoned.
And we welcome you back to the Field of Dreams in Van Buren, Arkansas. Tim Terry, Keith Holt, glad to have you aboard. Bulldogs lead 2-0 here in the game 2.
Is that right? Do we have 9 hits?
9 hits. We do.
See, that's and only 2
times.
runs. 9 times. That's Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Lady Bulldogs leading 8-3 in softball, trying to get a split over in game 2 against the Lady Pointers. I'm excited, really excited about that. I'm so happy if they can hang on over there because that'd be a big win in the 5A West on the girls' side. All right.
Coach Brewer just walked by, and he's not very happy, and I bet he looked up there and saw 9 hits and only 2 runs, and he thought about those 2 base running errors,
Yeah, right.
He's just not happy, which is great. That's what you want.
Yep.
You want perfection out of your team. Even though you may not get it, you should expect it and want it.
Here's Skaggs now. Rips the first one to the first baseman. It's booted. He'll stay with it. Go to Henry covering. Woo! Nearly a catastrophe for Van Buren.
It was a great job of Henry to immediately jump off the bag. A lot of guys want to kind of pause for a second. He immediately went to cover, and he was there plenty of times so he could find the bag.
3-1 on the put out, and Skaggs is out number 1 here in the top of the 6th.
That
2-0
one pitch
Bulldog.
went out?
Yes.
Number 27.
Here's Weston Pashier, who doubled his last time up. Got cut down trying to get to third on a grounder back to the pitcher. Bashir's first pitch swinging that time as well. Has both times at bats. Laid off of that curveball. It's ball one. First pitch grounded out to second. His second at bat, his first pitch, he doubled. Bashir's already seen more pitches in this at bat than he has the whole game. Here comes the second one. It's a 1-ball count, and that's inside 2-0.
Well, Bircher and Mitchell are only two that don't have hits. You've got hits in 7 out of your 9 batters.
Beautiful.
And you've got 2 runs, and you just have to work on that. I mean, and I guess 2 weeks ago you and I were begging for us to have base runners.
Sure. Yeah, right.
Well, now that we're getting them,
Yep.
we need to get them in now. We need to score them.
No, the beggars can't be choosers.
That's why I knew you were going to say that.
Here's a 2-0. In there for a called strike. It was a chainsaw was raked, but that's just strike one. Well, if it's like my chainsaw, it never starts with the first pull anyway, so we'll give him a couple more opportunities.
I was worried that I'd been like, where was I the first 2 strikes?
Here's the 2-1. Foul back now. He can get it cranked up, put a little more oil on that Husqvarna. 2-2.
You just said an L to Husqvarna?
Husqvarna.
Okay, Husqvarna.
No L. There's no U after the Q either, by the way.
There's no U?
Not in Husqvarna. One of the only words in the English language. There's not very many. There's a couple. Husqvarna is one of them.
Huh.
Weston Pashier. There's no U in Pashier either. There's a ball laced to center field, and he just stays hot. My gosh, another base hit. Pashier's 2 for 3 and a single.
Here's what's exciting about Pashier. He wasn't hot. He was putting too much pressure in the beginning, and he came out, and you're thinking, I know I've seen this kid succeed. He's a good hitter. A lot of kids could go the other way and just kind of either throw in the towel or just stay down. And he's worked his tail off to get up, and now look at him. I mean, he's hit the ball. Every ball he's hit today has been barreled up hard.
Bircher reached on a fielder's choice his second time up and popped out to the first baseman. Henry brings the first one, swing and a miss.
Him and Dawson must have went to the same school of getting leads and again, hopefully Brewer has them so scared to death of getting picked off. I know, and Hunter's dad's over there, but when Hunter got picked off the other day, I think they got lit into a little bit, and that may be why they're all scared to death.
He's back in head first as Henry throws over. He may have Brother Kevin and his dad's speed. We'll see. 1 strike is the count to Bircher. At least what I have. The scoreboard doesn't have anything up there. And called strike. I think I got 0-2 is what it should be. Let's see if Blue goes by his clicker. Or 0-2. Should be 0-2.
It was 1 at first and then 2. He did 2. He brought up the other finger. The finger was late.
Well, they've got 1 ball on the board. Should be 0-2.
Yeah. Umpire said 0-2.
Okay. Well, usually they've been watching the guy.
Well, he confused him there because he came up with 1 finger and then brought up the other one was late getting to the party.
Wow. Doesn't matter. There's a base rip to left field, and Bircher told that idiot color commentary guy, now we got a hit down there at the bottom of the order.
I know.
Well, that's perfect. You challenged him, Keith, and they've got to. 8-9 hole was the only ones that didn't have one. Boom, Bircher comes through. Now Mitchell, of course, he's due. Party time. I love it.
Well, I got to watch these. I went and watched them work during football season. I wanted to evaluate Brewer, because I've got another this year plus 4 more, and I wanted – these guys are good kids that work their tails off, and Brewer gives them a direction to work. Oh,
that one's fouled up out of play. Mitchell would like to have that one back.
Yes, he was a little off. I think that was off speed, and he was thinking fastball. He drug his bat. But so when you have kids that want to work and that are coachable, and you got a coach that has a path for them, you're going to see good things. And Bircher's one of those kids. You can put him anywhere. He was at catcher the other day. I don't know that he's ever catched.
Right.
Caught. He caught. Catched.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, caught.
Only.
Dude, that's a mic.
Minored in English.
Yes. Here's the 0-1 to Mitchell. I'd like to see him catch one here and find some green grass. 11 hits for the Bulldogs now.
Oh.
And there's a pull cued one right to the pitcher. Henry off the mound. He'll throw to first. Made the first baseman work for it. But it's 1-3 on the put out, and there's 2 down. Top of the order, we go back to Dawson Holt, who's had base hits 2 in a row. And horrible bat flip back to the on-deck circle.
That's why you shouldn't do it. See, now he's
Right.
off his game.
Yep.
All the confidence he had, you can't have confidence after.
I agree with
after
you. I know what you're saying.
He didn't even make the bat flip to the edge of the dirt.
No, he didn't get out of there. Barely got out of the left-handed batter's box. 2 down for Holt. He's 2 for 3 here in the nightcap. Greenwood leading 2-0. Runners at second and third. That's low.
That's one thing I'm proud of Doc. He doesn't, and he may chase this next one, but we haven't seen him chase a lot of pitches
Yeah, I
outside
agree.
the zone.
I agree with
Now
you.
he gets in a hole sometimes because of it, but he won't chase much.
1 ball count to Dawson Holt, Greenwood second baseman. Single, scored a run, and he lays off one there. Nope. Called it a strike.
Wow.
1-1. That's tough. So you just got to gather yourself. Hopefully Brewers told them the home plate blues struggling a bit to just look for your pitch. Kind of have to try to forget the count if that's possible.
You do.
Here's a 1-1. Runners get their leads at second and third. Henry checks on him. He'll come home to Holt. And off-speed fooled him that time. He went down after it. 1-2.
Well, he did a good job the piece before that one of checking a swing, and it happened to be a strike. And then that
It
one
had
was
to be called a strike.
It had to be called a strike. Yes. And in that one, he saw the same pitch. He just couldn't stay back.
Had to swing at it. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Let's see what Dawson can do with that 2-strike count. Henry comes set up top for Van Buren. 2-0 Greenwood, top of the 6th. Here it comes. And it's outside. 2-2.
Oh.
Come back with a fastball there. 2-2.
Win another. Come on, boy. Hittable, unhittable. Huh, baby?
Holt digs in on that right side batter's box. Right-handed bat.
You
Henry.
take these headphones off and that humming goes away. It's so quiet.
Yeah. Henry's ready. He brings the 2-2 home to Holt. There it is. Outside. Bashir had to almost fell down to catch it.
Win another.
Luckily, it wasn't borderline. And full count now to pay off to Doc Holt. Not necessarily runners going to be going on the pitch with just second and third.
But if they see swing, they'll be moving.
Yes.
They'll get a head jump. So it's not, they've just got to see swing.
Payoff pitch to Dawson Holt. Big spot here. Let's see if he can get a couple RBI. Henry's ready for Van Buren. Here it comes. And it's in the dirt. Well, walked him. Good.
Good at bat.
Yeah, it's a great at-bat, Keith.
Better bat flip, too, after, into
Yes.
on that circle.
And now Harrison Adams with the bases juiced. And 2 outs here in the top of the 6th.
The batter's the shortstop.
Henry's gone the whole way for Van Buren. Carnes all the way for Greenwood so far. Adams is 1 for 3 here in the nightcap. Singled in the 3rd. Popped out to first, lined out to first.
Breaking ball first pitch.
Harrison digs into that right side. He's our shortstop.
Who has our other run?
Carnes scored 1, and Holt scored 1. A breaking pitch is in there for a called strike to Harrison Adams.
Wow. I missed it. Was it not very good?
I thought it was all right.
Good. So what? We're moving
I mean, it was a
on.
late
Let's go.
strike call, but I thought it was in there. Maybe a little high, but I kind of thought it broke in there and caught the box. I'm a high strike guy.
You are a high strike guy.
Let's go, man.
0-1 to count. Kicks and fires. That's outside. 1-1.
Hitters hit.
The thing about his off speed, it's not deceiving. It's just slow.
Yep.
And the people we've seen miss hit it were just they couldn't stay back
Yep.
and hit it. So
Yep.
it's not that he's going to get fooled. He's either going to get a bad call or he's going to be out front. Now, if Harrison can think right side here, he's going to get himself 2 RBIs and a guy moved to third.
Here comes the 1-1. Outside, 2-1.
And Henry's got to make an adjustment. Every fastball he's missed has sent Bashir diving into the left-hand batter's box.
There's activity in the Pointers bullpen. I don't know if they're just playing some catch or if there's a guy loosening. He's wearing a hoodie. That's the pitcher over there.
Little sidearm guy.
Here's the 2-1 to Harrison Adams. Base is loaded for Greenwood. And that's in there for a called strike. 2-2.
Wow.
Deuce is wild here in the top of the 6th. Adams, make your own hay, baby.
So what? I hope you didn't think it was going to be easy. Let's go.
2-2. Henry gets a sign. He comes set up top for Van Buren. Big spot here for the Bulldogs in the top of the 6th. Off-speed's ripped and got into the right field. Just past the diving shortstop. 2 runs are going to score, and the Bulldogs double them up now 4-0. As Holt tried to sneak over to third, and he's safe. In and around the tag. Oh, baby.
Boy, and Coach, luckily there's a crowd here. He'd be on Dawson. That's on Dawson. Dawson rounded second. The third baseman was way up here as cutoff, and nobody was at third base. And Dawson should have recognized that and kept going. Coach recognized it. But at the same time, Coach starts pointing at it. Of course, he alerts the third baseman who runs over there, catches it on the run. And Dawson did an excellent, they call it a swim move on the bases. He did an excellent swim move.
2 RBI for Adams. His second single of the night. He's having an awesome night. And here comes Coach Weatherford out of the Van Buren dugout. We may have seen all from Malachi Henry tonight, as the Bulldogs have put 2 across and doubled their lead 4-0 now in the top of the 6th with 2 out, rally in progress. And Mr. Grant Carnes coming to the plate. And it's going to be, I think he's going to try to ask the field ump if he was really safe over there. And he's going to tell him about the swim move on that Keith described for you.
We did, and what basically, instead of reaching with your inside, you don't reach with the inside hand, so it has nothing to tag. You reach around and kind of go on your back and reach with your other one. I think and Dawson did it good, and the umpire was in perfect position.
Yep.
I don't think he has anything to argue.
No.
If he would have called him out, I wouldn't have disagreed with him because he's in such good position.
Yep. Well, the meeting at the mound is over with. They're going to make a pitching change. They're going to go back to Dudley, who was at short, and Henry will probably take over at shortstop. So that'll give us a chance to do a pitching change as the Greenwood leads 4-0 now and have runners at second and third. With Grant Carnes coming to bat, stick around. You don't want to miss this. Bulldogs leading 4-0. Greenwood Sports Center and the Sports Hog 103.5. Minute.
I may end up doing a TikTok on how to get uniforms clean. I am use a little Murphy's Oil soap.
Wait a minute. Use a little Murphy's what?
Murphy's Oil soap.
Murphy's Oil soap. Is that anything like Ogilvy's Sister soap?
I have no idea what that is, but I mean, you can use it to like polish furniture and stuff.
Oh, yeah?
But you put it in, you mix it in, and then Goo Gone. I put a little Goo Gone in there.
Wow.
And you let it soak for 45 minutes in hot water, and I just take it like a toothbrush, and you just take it across there, and it just goes bye-bye. It's gone. No more dirt.
Interesting. Well,
Yeah.
y'all tuning in on the...
Hey, you don't always want to go to the car wash. I mean,
Right. We welcome you back to the Field of Dreams here in Van Buren. Iverson Riggs Memorial Field. 4-0 Bulldogs. Tack on 2 more here in the top of the 6th. A pitching change for the Pointers as they go to their shortstop, Dylan Dudley. He and Malachi Henry swap spots. Dudley will be pitching now. Henry will go short. And he will face Grant Carnes here in the 6th. Carnes has second and third runners and 2 already across of 2 outs.
Carnes is going to have a dilemma because some college at some point is going to say, look, we don't see the potential you have as a fielder and hitter. We want you as a pitcher because he's going to be a heck of a pitcher.
Right.
Then there's going to be some college, probably equal, Power 5, that says, we see you as both. And then one of them is going to say, hey, we want you to only be a fielder and a hitter. And he's going to, it's going to be laid out in front of him, and he's going to have his options, and they're going to be nice.
Right.
And I know all the football fans are like, well, what about football? Well, nobody wants to go to college to play football. Everybody wants to be baseball players.
Well, let's see what Carnes thinks right here with second and third, 2 outs, new pitcher, and strike called to the knees of Grant Carnes. We saw this Dudley guy in game 1, and I don't remember him going to that 3-quarter kind of slot there.
He's like, he's like the guy from, is it Ole Miss or Ole Miss that has the ambidextrous?
Yeah, I think so. 0-1 to Carnes. And that's outside, 1-1. Carnes 2 for 2 with a sack bunt. Couple of singles, scored a run.
Well, you saw Dawson do it earlier. Harrison did it a while ago. You can be early and hit the 5 and 6 hole, and it doesn't hurt you at all. If you hit pop-ups and stuff, the difference is Greenwood's been hitting pop-ups. Well, now we're finding the holes, and we're still early, but we're hitting it hard on the ground.
The 1-1's upstairs, 2-1. Pettigrew out on deck. You know he wants to get a shot at it with the bases loaded, possibly, if Carnes walks here, but Carnes is going to do some damage himself. Well, I'd like to see him deposit one into the reservoir. Here's a 2-1 from Dudley. And this one's off the fist, out up near the handle, 2-2. It's fouled out of play over the right side.
Normally I'd say that if you're late on a fastball, that's the hitter's fault, but, man, we haven't seen – that's the fastest pitch he's thrown in 2 games.
Yeah, right.
I mean, literally, he probably threw that pitch, and I know this is going to sound crazy, 73, 74, but he's been living at 63, so he just added 10 miles per hour for Carnes.
Yeah. Here's a 2-2 to Carnes.
And you heard me say that, I guess. He's looking, yeah.
Dudley will step off. He did.
He's like, oh.
Works from the stretch. Runners at second and third to get their lead.
Now when you throw at 74, what do you come back with? You come back with about 58. Watch how slow this one is.
Here's the 2-2. And Carnes just reached out. A great job of staying alive and just tapped it, waiting for his pitch. Kennan will go run down the foul ball.
Go.
Thing is, he's strong enough. He can check swing it and tap it. It'll make its way to the 142 feet is where you want your ball's got to go 142 feet to make it between the infield and outfield.
Right. I like that. Good number. Dudley up on top. Here comes a 2-2 to Carnes. Laces this one out by Seager, diving at third. That'll score. Hold. The left fielder misplayed it. Easily Harrison will score. Carnes on his horse. He'll get to third. He's got the green light, and he'll come home. Here's the throw. He balks the throw. Carnes will score. He rounds the bases. Oh, baby!
The old-fashioned Little League home run.
Wow, it got through the left fielder who was charging, and Carnes touches them all. Yeah, the old-fashioned 3-run homer. So it's a single, the 3-base error.
It was an error. The left fielder looked up as he was coming up. He looked up to see where the runners were, and it sure enough went right under his glove.
Pettigrew now with no traffic on the base paths. Plenty of room to run. Bulldogs have a crooked number up here in the sixth.
He's like, dang it, Carnes, you took all my RBIs.
Carnes kicks the extra point through. They're up 7-0. Here's Pettigrew now. First pitch foul right over the top and catches the netting. Strike one. Pettigrew digs in from the right side. I keep hearing gestures from the coaches, in particular Tony over in the dugout, Sandiford. It's just it's a swagger that he's instilling in these kids. You talked about it, Keith. This one's a mile high from Pettigrew, hooking into foul ground. The pitcher, Dudley, comes and gets it. Nice play. And that'll end the inning. But, wow, what excitement we had from the Bulldogs as they tack on a 5 spot in the top of the 6th. They scored 5 runs on 4 hits. There was an error. Nobody left on base. Bottom 6 we go. Bulldogs 7. Van Buren 0. Greenwood Sports Center and the Sports Hog 103.5. 1 minute.
But the so what that he says, to me that's you can't let any negativity get in your head. It's so what that happened. I'm still good. I'm still me. I'm still a Bulldog. There's so much you can put with that. So the so what is bad things are going to happen in baseball. They always do. It's so what? I mean, you can't let it get to you. The minute, Mike Trout said it best. Mike Trout said every swing he has, he thinks he's going to get a hit.
Yep.
He said, I can never, ever think otherwise. So when he steps up to the plate, he's thinking, I'm going to get a hit right here.
Well, I catch a lot of flack sometimes from people about Bulldog mentality. What do you think the Hogs are going to do this year? Well, we're going to go 15-0 in football. There's no way we're going to go undefeated. Well, I'm from Greenwood. We don't game plan losses. I don't expect to ever lose. Why would you think that?
Right.
So that's a good habit to get into. We welcome you back to the Field of Dreams. Tim Terry, Keith Holt, Greenwood Baseball. Tuesday night, skyrockets. No, it's afternoon delight. Tuesday afternoon. That's a Moody Blues song. It's Tuesday night now. And the Bulldogs up 7-0. Put a 5 spot on them, the top of the 6th. Carnes kicked the extra point as he rounded the bases on a single in the air that went through the left fielder's wickets and scored all the way around.
And by the way, game changer and the home scoreboard gave him an in-the-park home run.
Good God almighty. Well, it didn't hit his glove, but, I mean, it's a routine grounder to left field. As Carnes back in up on the bump, and he will look at ball 1 high to Matthew Nichols. Bottom of the 6th we go. Greenwood up 7-0. 1 ball count to Nichols and flied out to left his first time up. Carnes, a fastball just missed outside, 2-0. About the first time he's been behind 2-0, I think, tonight. He's probably tired from rounding the bases. Here's the 2-0. That's lifted a mile high but out of play over the top.
Someone help.
He don't get tired.
Strike 1. Oh, you're right about that.
Or maybe not.
And just to piggyback on your comment earlier, that Joker's a problem on the football field.
He is.
I mean, he's a serious problem. 2-1 now to Matthew Nichols. Called strike.
See, when you get an athlete that wants to compete and win every pitch, every little thing, you not just win the game, but win every little battle, every little. When you get that athlete that's got that mindset, you get a Carnes, you get a Peyton Holt, you get people that are like, I'm going to beat you in every aspect.
Tip foul. Nichols just stayed alive. Matthew Nichols, their second baseman, leading off here in the bottom of the 6th. Grant Carnes up on top.
Man, I'm just glad that you can sit there, and if you didn't know anything about Greenwood and Van Buren, I'll let you take this pitch.
Outside, full count.
If you didn't know anything about Greenwood Van Buren baseball and you were to walk up, you would think we were better because we've got the swag right now. From our dugout to the field, and you look over there, they used to be so obnoxious and loud, and they're not.
Upstairs, and he walked him. Oh, there goes. Perfect game for Carnes. I don't mind saying it. The first walk of the game comes in the bottom of the 6th. It was certainly a magical
Grab all the way, huh?
5 innings.
I mean, you got 5 times 3, you face 15 batters. I mean, that doesn't happen in high school.
No. Here's Dalman now. He's in their 8-hole. He's in right field. And the first one's a fastball right down the middle of strike 1.
But again, and we talked about the last game, you got 7-run lead in the 6th inning. You can't let anything get started.
No, right.
You can't get back on your heels. If they put one in play here, you got to make the routine plays.
Carnes up on top, 0-1 count to Dalmut, and that's upstairs, 1-1. I don't know if Dalmut's going to swing the bat. I think he just split the plate.
Get a tally here. Get a tally. Go 3.
Carnes up on top from the stretch. Nice lead for Nichols over at first. And the pitch is upstairs, 2-1. Home plate blue was getting out of there. 7-0 Bulldogs. 1 in the first, 1 in the third, 5 spot in the 6th.
I'll talk about this here in a second.
Here's a 2-1. And time was asked for by Dalmut, granted by home plate blue.
Let's get a rhythm here. Let's get a rhythm.
Carnes from the stretch. Up on top. And he is going over.
He's lost a little bit of his control, but to be completely honest, and I've watched a lot of baseball, it's amazing it's made it this far. He's only at 70 pitches, but you saw him just running inside the park home run. He played outfield. Kids, they get tired.
Yep.
They're not invincible, and he's just lost a little bit of his control.
There's a ball out to center field. It's down, and there goes a no-hitter.
Both of them back to back.
Yep.
Oh, he
almost forced him out at second as Nichols was kind of lollygagging to second base. And Dalmut records the first hit of the game, and I told you it was going to be something I felt magical coming there in the middle of the second. And Brewer's going to go out and talk to Carnes.
I mean, he's at 80, and again, you know, I've watched kids. For pitchers to throw 90 and 100 pitches in the high school and college, the POs, the pitcher onlys,
Yep.
they're trained. Their bodies are trained for that, and they've quit running so much distance. And now they run sprints because they figured out that look, pitching isn't a distance. Pitching 9 innings and 7 innings and that many. It's not a marathon. It's a sprint. So pitchers now do sprints. Well, he's our. You know, he means more to us right now, batting in the bottom or
Yeah.
the top of the lineup and playing just any position because we only get him for
Right.
one game a week.
Yep.
But as a pitcher, if he were to be just a pitcher, he'd be conditioned to keep pitching, and he could easily be as good now as he was in the first inning. And I'm not saying he's not good now.
Right.
He's just not the same pitcher.
Brewer went and talked to him. Going to stay with Carnes. And there's a fastball blew it right past Dylan Dudley, who's now their pitcher. 0-1.
Yeah, I wish I had a pocket radar just to see. I don't think he's dropped off any miles per hour.
Yep. 1 strike to count. Nobody out. Perfect game. A race with a walk at the top of this, or the first batter here at the bottom of the 6th. And outside, 1-1.
Come on now, Craig. Come on. Go ahead and pull the trigger.
And
That's a strike.
yeah, 1 ball, 1 strike. And then Dowmett with the little flare out to right field broke up the no-no. This one's fouled up out of play over the top. Strike 2. Do I need to say anything about going from a stretch and getting the base hit? Is that, I mean, that big of a deal, or you know?
It's definitely a change in mechanics. I mean, we just watched him face 15 batters from the windup.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he has to change his mechanics. And I think it's going to be easier with a runner at second. I think you tend to rush with a runner at first. I think that probably had something to do with him letting off a little bit to get a hit.
Here's the 1-2. Off speed, just missed, 2-2.
Because with the runner at first and he doesn't have a leg kick, he slide steps, you lose 2 miles per hour. Well, that may have been just enough to keep it in fair territory and him hit it off the end of the bat there.
2-2. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 6th. Van Buren trying to get back in this game, down 7-0. Fastball's fouled up over the top. Boy, Dudley just got a piece of it to stay alive.
But I like the approach, whether it was Adams or Brewer. They're going right at these batters now. They're like, look, we got a 7-run lead. These 2 runners down, I guarantee he said these 2 runners mean nothing to us. You go up there and you carve these guys out like you did the first 5 innings.
Yep. Carnes is ready up top. Here comes the 2-2 to Dylan Dudley. Upstairs, full count. Now, you lose this guy, you're probably going to see the end of Grant Carnes tonight on the mound. We'll see. We can't see our bullpens. I don't know if anybody's...
It's going to be Mitchell. I mean, it's got to be Mitchell in the center.
Yep.
Don't you think?
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, got him in the throat.
Sure did. The home plate Blues took a foul ball right off the... I think it went under his mask. Luckily, it didn't catch him square in the throat, or he'd be gasping for air.
Probably right there by the juggler.
Hosley's out to talk to Carnes. They'll discuss things at the mound.
And that's always a courtesy.
Yes.
And even, Weatherford, I know he's been irritated.
Mm-hmm.
Even he came down and said, hey, do I need to take my batter and talk to him? Are you good? And he gave him the thumbs up that he's good. It's just and the umpire does the same courtesy for the catcher. Catcher gets hit in the groin or the leg, and he'll wipe off the plate. He'll take the pitcher a ball, and you'll see him hand him a ball. That's just, all that is a courtesy to each other.
Yep. Still full count to Dylan Dudley, their pitcher.
Come on, how about a ground ball right here?
Nobody out, first and second for Van Buren. Here comes from Carnes. Swing and a miss. He got him. That's strikeout number 10 for the sophomore.
He's at a status of
2 down, or 1 down now. Back to the top of the order, and Malachi Henry, who started the game at pitcher, now is at shortstop. He's 0 for 2. Strikeout and a fly out.
Now batting for Van Buren, number 1, Malachi Henry.
Runners at first and second for the Pointers, Nichols and Dowmett.
I just feel if they're going to do it, they have to do it here at the top of the lineup. They can't wait.
No. Carnes comes home, and that's low for ball 1.
Oh, you missed that. Did you see that?
I saw it. It's kind of a orchestra, like get the French horn section alive.
It was almost a strike.
Yeah. 1-0. And there's a ball ripped. Pettigrew on a one-hopper. and they're going to go to second and get the out. Nice play. Very good from Pettigrew.
Well, it's lucky it happened. Carnes was still watching the play. He thought it was foul probably. He never covered first. And the runner froze. He didn't know what happened. And if the runner doesn't freeze, then they can't get the force out at second.
Pettigrew with a little flare down the line, and Brady nearly picked it out of the air, but it short hopped, and the runner did freeze. And the first base coach said go quickly, but Pettigrew made a great throw, an awkward throw deep behind first over to second.
I'd like to know how comfortable he is with that first base mitt. We've seen a couple balls, go in and out early,
Right.
even a few games ago. I just wonder how comfortable he is, because it's new. If you haven't played a lot of first, I want to say he's a natural third baseman, isn't he?
I think so. They throw over and back in head first.
You're talking about a different shaped mitt. I mean, it's different altogether.
My daughter never said anything about it. Both of them played first base the whole way through. But I don't recall Harley ever mention anything awkward about it. Or Tessa, for that matter. Here's Presley Nichols. He's a left-handed bat and looks at the first one, outside ball one. They give Henry the bag. He takes second. There's 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th.
And you'd think if this was going to be probably his last batter, he's at 90. And he's faced 19 batters. This will be his 20th.
Here's the 1-0. In there for called no, ball 2. He wanted to call it a strike. He thought it was close.
He's about to make everybody have a whole new category of strikes, balls, and almosts.
Well, and the thing I hate, like I mentioned very early in this game, is it worked on the pitch count, and that's what's happened here. Whether it mattered or not, Hosley couldn't squeeze that one and hit his glove.
2-1.
Carnes thought it was a strike. He called it a ball, so it's 3-0. That's one of those, if he maybe caught it, may have got the strike call.
I don't know. But you're right. You did say it earlier. You said, look, I get it. These guys, he's newer. He's a little bit inconsistent. I hope it doesn't bite us later. Well, if they're going to get back in this game, it's going to bite us later.
Yep. 3-0 count to Nichols. And he walked him. Oh, boy. Call that a strike. Sweet Moses. Coach Weatherford definitely did not like that.
Well, he can get Glad in the same shoes he got Matt in.
Yeah, well, and like I said, the 2 pitches before was a strike, so we're even.
I think we're still +1.
I agree.
We're +1.
Okay.
Because there were 2 pitches that were strikes.
I agree. It was certainly low and should have been ball 4 by standards. That was
a ball.
Yeah, take your base.
But, it's crazy as his mechanics are. He's only missed a couple.
I agree.
It's crazy that,
Yeah, I know what you're saying. And Coach Brewer will make the jog out, and he will get Grant Carnes a nice outing for the sophomore. He was magical for sure. Perfect through 5 innings. Issued a leadoff walk here in the 6th. A little CNI single. Got a couple of outs. Strikeout here. 10 Ks on the night for Carnes. And a 1-hit masterpiece here, 5 2/3.
And he can't get the loss. He's only responsible for the 3 runners on. That doesn't get him to 7. So
Mitchell comes in. He'll be in relief. Carnes will go to right. They'll move Bircher over to center. And we've got a pitching change here. Tonight's game brought to you in part by Duck's Body Shop in Mansfield. We love big hits when it comes to Bulldog baseball, but not when it comes to your vehicle. When you get in an accident, call Duck's Body Shop in Mansfield, 479-928-5516. The place to go to get your ride looking right. We thank the Carson family and Duck's Body Shop, 479-928-5516, West Fraser of Mansfield. Proud to support Greenwood Bulldog Athletics. We thank the boys over at the Lumber Company, Travis family in West Fraser in Mansfield. Top Notch Roofing, Scott N. Branton Architects, MSG Waste Services, Craig Gigrich State Farm Insurance, J&H Automation Engineering, Adams Health and Wellness, ABC Signs and Printing. All of our sponsors, you see logos running through the live stream if you're watching. We appreciate all the folks around town helping out and get this baseball program rejuvenated. And sure love having Coach Brandon Brewer back in Greenwood wearing that navy blue and white. Bulldogs 4 outs away from being 4-0 in conference here and standing atop the standings. 2 down here in the bottom of the 6th. Greenwood up 7-0. Austin Mitchell will come in and try to put the finishing touches on this one. Now the bases are loaded. Nichols leadoff walks at third. Henry reached on a fielder's choice at second. And the other Nichols, Presley, walked. He's at first.
But this is the last game of the night. The last time we'll see. I don't care what kind of momentum they get. If we give up about 4 runs, if it's a dunk, we still have the lead. We just can't panic and just finish the game. That's all we have to do.
You're right. Seager's first pitch swinging. This one's in the air. Holt's got a beat on it into the grass in right field and makes the grab for a 1-pitch out from Mitchell. And the Bulldogs escape here in the bottom of the 6th as the Pointers leave the bases loaded on 1 hit. No errors. 7-0. Greenwood leads after 6 innings here in Van Buren. Bulldogs looking to tack on to this 7-run lead. It'll be Aiden Kennan, Braden Skaggs, Weston Pashear. Tim Terry, Keith Hope, glad to have you aboard here on Tuesday night. We'll be with you for the next 5 Tuesday nights, I guess, as Greenwood runs through their conference race. We'll have all the games on the radio for you, conference games and live stream. Other non-conference games will be on the live stream as well. You can check where you're watching if you are right now. Click on it. Maybe Sean might have a schedule he can post on the stream at some point. I don't know if he's got that graphic or not, but if not, you can go to the Greenwood
Be ready to hit.
school website, Greenwood. You can go to Greenwood Dog Pound, click on sports, click on baseball, click on schedule, and it'll get you there.
You going to ride with me to Harrison Tuesday?
Yeah, I may have to. Yeah, if you don't mind. I'm off work. I'm off work till...
Can you drive or anything?
I can't drive 55. I can certainly drive, especially... I mean, I can drive, yeah. I drove over here.
I know a tidbit about Tim and I when we were in college. We refereed basketball games, and I had a Ford Probe GT with turbo.
Wow.
And we would
5-speed.
He would drive it. No, I would drive it there, and he would drive it home, and we would time each other and see who could make it the fastest. And he usually won.
Yeah, I'm a little bit reckless. It's weird. I'm a weird kind of guy driving because sometimes I'll go complete old man and just putt around, and it's very strange. Normally, especially when we got road trips for sports, I will flare for the excitement.
It's because you're anxious. I figured out that's what it is.
Yeah.
Is that when you're going to a sporting event or something, there's some anxiety there, right. And your mind is all over the place.
And I'm kind of like a Bo Darble a little bit. I kind of show off like the. I mean, what do? I have fun, so smoking the bandit. So I like to show off a little bit. We got a new pitcher. It's number 18, and I have no. Let me see if I can find. Oh, here's your roster right in front of us. That's Uriah Henson. And he will face Kennan in the top of the 7th.
So we heard that Van Buren had 2 dudes pitching. If you get to the bullpen, you'd have a better chance. And they're good. I mean, they're not what they've had in the past.
Right.
I think that's what they're missing is those dudes that they've had in the past that are pitching at UAFS. And
right. First one to Kennan's a called strike at the knees. 0-1. Kennan has singled, struck out, and lined out to the third baseman. He's our DH here in Game 2. Couple of hits on the game on the evening tonight. Game 1, he had a hit pitching as well. That's low, ball 1. 1-1. Uriah Henson. He's up on top, a right-handed pitcher. He comes home with it, and swing and a miss from Kennan.
Yeah, he pulled everything.
Hag.
It did, but he was looking at Coach Brewer before that swing was over.
Right. Kennan, the right-handed bat. That's Skaggs out on deck. For the Bulldogs, then Weston Pashear. Here's the 1-2 to Aiden Kennan. No outs, top of the 7th. Dogs up 7-0. Breaking ball just missed. 2-2.
And you think, Coach Brewer, to juggle what he does, and if you've seen the schedule for 9th grade, and then JV, and then 10th, there's games almost every night.
And just missed. Full count.
Ball. It was a ball. Catcher.
I thought it might have been high.
Look at the catcher.
Little Pashir's asking him, come on. And Coach Weatherford says, take care of your pitcher. Don't worry about it. That's like an old Pawpaw Roger there. He got up and got in the ump's face.
He was my coach.
The late, great Roger. Kennan fists one to the first baseman. He'll glove and throws to the Every, but he's safe. He should have took it himself over at first base. Kennan legs out a single.
Taken. He should have taken.
Should have taken it himself. What did I say, took him?
Yes.
Not really.
You said took.
Ethan Bowen should have taken it himself.
That's right.
Instead, Kennan legs out an infield single.
But you don't get to say that about Kennan much. As fast as he is on the football field, a lot of that's just his pure brute strength.
Game speed, they call it.
Yeah, he got down the line.
And the DH position, that'll be Scott Holland coming in to run for Kennan.
You want to see some coaches back in the day. You look at Roger Pashir. Mm-hmm. Look at your dad and my dad out there. That was a wild group.
Pena's dad, Kendall Taylor.
Yes, Taylor,
yeah.
Out there in the field behind Doug's house.
Right. That one's high to Skaggs, 1 ball. You were talking about the schedule. I looked at the Greenwood High School puts out a deal every week on their Twitter feed, the schedule for the week. And there was one game they were on the road for varsity, on the road for like a 9th grade sophomore game. I'm thinking, this guy's got guys going every night. You got to do it. Hey, here's a ball laced by Skaggs out the center. It's down. Holland's going to check up at second. Skaggs, a nice piece of hitting, back-to-back singles.
But you have to. Even if you have bad swings, you have to be in situations you can learn from, and the only way to do that is to play. And he knows it, so he's letting them play.
Well, I was that way in golf a little bit. People say, you ought to go bang balls, hit balls. I'd rather play golf and just go play the holes and just try to shape the ball, looking at trees and water.
That's
and
right.
I hate it.
Because you can't say it's the same thing at the driving range. I don't care what you can visualize. It's not the same.
Weston Pashir takes a hack at the first pitch, and it's slicing foul right side, strike 1.
But it was a good barrel. We talked about Pashir. It's barreling up balls. He's seeing it and barreling them up.
2 for 3 here in game number 2. Scored a run.
Good
Got
for
a
him.
single and a double. Bashir from the right side. Henson up on top for Van Buren. Fastball chopper towards short. Double play ball. Second's got one. They got him at second. Nicely done for the Pointers. The 6-4-3 double play.
Yeah, he just got in on his hands and he couldn't barrel that ball up, and that's why it was hit softly to the shortstop.
Kennan, they're actually Holland over to third. And now here's Austin Bircher, our right fielder. The last chance for the Bulldogs here in the top of the 7th. It was 2 down. He has singled, scored a run, reached on a fielder's choice, got caught stealing, popped out to the first baseman. Austin Bircher. And that's inside.
But some of these guys couldn't buy hit the first few games.
Right.
But they're transitioning their confidence, and maybe that's what he's doing with the machine. Yeah. Instead of having a hand up there and getting them fine-tuned, maybe he'll do that later. Maybe he's trying to get them confidence and say, look, you can hit a ball.
Breaking ball. That was fooled Bircher a bit. He swung right through it. 1-1.
Round bat, round ball, hit it. Look, you can, and then and that's all these guys need is some confidence, because we've all watched them play for years, and they can play, they can hit.
1 ball, 1 strike. That's a called strike.
So what?
Got him looking.
So what?
1-2 now.
He's going to try to sneak a fastball by him like he did with Pashir.
Here's the 1-2 to Bircher. Henson up on top for the Pointers, their third pitcher here in game 2. Fastball inside, a little high and tight, 2-2. Tuesday's Gone is a song from Leonard Skinner, Denny Bland's Johnny on the Spot. I'm trying to think of a good Tuesday song. We've got Till Tuesday, I guess. Voices carry, but Till Tuesday. Fouled up over the top from Bircher. 2-2 still.
See more.
7-0 Bulldogs. They gave Carnes an inside the park home run.
You know, and
Wow.
I'm gonna go ahead and say it because I'm thinking it. And that sometimes
Don't do it.
Okay, I'll stop.
Let's just call this pitcher the 2-2 to Bircher. Swing and a miss. And the Bulldogs' threat ends there with Holland over at first base.
I'm going to go ahead and say it. Is there anything better than seeing the energy completely drained out of the Van Buren dugout? And it's just when you see energy, they're just zapped.
And that's not anything ill said about the school.
No.
It's just we've had to go through. They've had some really good times here, and I agree with you. I didn't even think about it until you made the statement. Their student section, non-existent. Now, they may come and knock on my window tonight and make a bunch of noise all night while I'm trying to sleep, and that'd be fine, too. I appreciate the school spirit. But they aren't here. Yes, it's cold. We're under blankets, but,
They were here 2 years ago.
Yeah,
and they were full force,
yeah.
and it was.
And they come to Greenwood and make a hand. They come to they go to Alma, they go to Siloam, wherever.
And even the dugout was chirpy.
Yeah.
And now they've lost their swag. They've lost it. And it feels like it's shifting in baseball here, and it felt like it was in basketball until they started making every shot they shot.
That buzzer beater hurt us.
It felt good.
Yeah.
But it's just it's good to see it shifting back over here in baseball.
Well, and to be honest with you, I'd rather see them chirping and having a good time than us still beating their brains out. It's just good to see Greenwood winning in the swag. I'm almost kind of just blocked out what's going on. I'm focused on, like you talked about, what Coach Brewer's doing with his staff. He's got here the paid assistants and the volunteer guys. You can just tell that the baseballs means a little bit. It just seems like it means more. That's nothing on the last guy. I'm just saying the little things. Well, here's Austin Mitchell back up top, and it's Bashir, their catcher. He is 0 for 2. He asked for time and got it granted.
No, don't we watch him? Look at Mitchell. He hadn't moved. He's going to stay right there. He wins.
Yep. Beautiful baseball. That's the little things, Keith. And that was fouled off the hands of Peyton Bashir. Strike one. Peyton had a little disco with home plate blue in the last half inning. Ball that was probably
you see what he was saying. He was pointing to the ball was right there.
Yes, and that's tough for the catcher. He knows that guy's struggling back there. Here's the 0-1 to Bashir. Swing and a miss.
That's a tough slider. That's tough. He gives him a fastball, and then that pitch looks like the same pitch before, except now it's going to break to the low and outside.
Well, and Peyton kind of reminded me of Dwight Bashir there. I saw a little fidget. He's just kind of he's ready to get away from this umpire. There's a high chopper to Holt. Gobbles it on 2 bounces. Over to first. 1 down. Well, I haven't seen Greenwood play a whole lot of baseball this year outside of our conference broadcasts. But Dawson sure looked pretty comfortable over there, Keith.
But, it's just things Skaggs didn't look comfortable. Skaggs was, he was the second baseman.
Yeah.
And it's not that Dawson did better. It's that Skaggs just never got comfortable and made some mistakes, and then it was next guy up. And, Dawson has naturally been a middle infielder, and when you want to do something and you like doing something, you just do it better.
Yep.
And so he's always played middle infield, and he likes it.
Ball 1 to Caleb Adams, their left fielder, struck out twice looking. Here's Mitchell's 1-0. Called strike. 1-1.
That being said, you've got 3 seniors on the infield, second, short, and so those guys that are maybe not comfortable this year better get comfortable because it's just going to be reload, and you're going to have to come in and pick up where they left off and do a job.
Mitchell wants a new ball. He'll get it from home plate. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th. Greenwood leading 7-0. Van Buren down to their last 2 outs. Last 5 strikes, for that matter. Mitchell kicks and fires. There's a ball fouled, sliced foul over to the right side, or pushed foul, really, by Adams.
He had some heat on that fastball.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Austin Mitchell up on top. Appreciate y'all tuning in tonight on the Sports Hog 103.5. Burning the midnight oil here. Here's the 1-2. Tip foul. Stayed alive. That went off Hosley, I believe.
And I think they moved it up to 4:30. Wasn't it originally at 5 and they moved it up to 4:30?
Well, every game's at 4:30, but I know what you're saying. If they did it, they did it for the entire schedule.
Gotcha. Well, and that was good.
Tonight
especially
wasn't just 5. It's always been 4:30.
Gotcha.
And a breaking ball got him looking a backwards K for Adams. And that's his third backwards K of the night. He'll wear the collar. Ethan Bowen's their last chance. He struck out twice. Once swinging and once looking.
It's kind of a rule. If you don't want to strike out looking, you swing.
The bat. That's right.
Swing.
I mean, yeah. Bowen's their first baseman. And the first one to him's a called strike.
See, he's a rhythm pitcher. You notice, I know he didn't have his bullpen, but he's feeding off the energy knowing that the game's about to be over, and he's just a rhythm. He's wanting the ball, give me the sign, and let's go.
Yes. Here's the 0-1 to Bowen. Mitchell stepped off, now gathers himself. He's back up on top and ready. 1 out away. Curveball just missed inside, 1-1. Bulldogs looking to go 4-0 in conference play and get a sweep here on the road at Van Buren.
It'll be the first time we went 4-0 since the last time we did.
Yeah, I don't remember when that was. Here's the 1-1. Outside and a little high, 2-1.
It's almost like anticipation of what's he going to call.
Well, I'd rather him just wait and gather himself and then
make the right
make
one.
A delayed call. He wants to call something real quick. There's a chopper. Adams will charge. Gloves it short. Across the diamond. Pull him, but he tags the blind. What a play from Pettigrew. And that's the ball game. Oh, baby. Adams just throws a little high. Pettigrew had to come off the bag, but he applies the tag. And the Bulldogs sweep here and win 7-0 in the nightcap. Exclamation point. The extra point was Grant Carnes, and I guess what they're calling inside the park home run. In the
Was it inside the park grand slam?
No, it was a 3-run shot.
3-run, okay.
Yep. That was in the 6th inning. 5-run 6th. Carnes was magical tonight. A 1-hit gem. 1 walk. Went 5 and a third, I believe.
2/3, because he had 1 pitch, 1 out.
That's right. Yep, 5 2/3 for Grant Carnes. So a great night of baseball for these Bulldogs, and I take it back. He issued 2 walks, didn't he? He had a second walk there. That's when they brought in Mitchell. Bulldogs sweep 7-0 here in the nightcap.
Well,
15 hits.
I can probably look at mine quicker going off Game Changer.
Yeah.
Holt had 2. Adams had 2. Carnes had 3 hits. Pettigrew, they have a day, 3 for 3, and the win with a 1-hitter. Wow. Pettigrew had a hit. Kennan 2. Skaggs 2. Bashir 2. Bircher 1. Mitchell came in and closed it out like a champ. He had 15 total hits from Greenwood. I'd say that it's going in the right direction, and all you and I need to know right now is that we're getting our swag back, and we just need to continue it.
No question about it. Well, we'll call it a night here from the Field of Dreams as the Greenwood Bulldogs sweep Van Buren here 7-0 in the nightcap. They won game 1 8-5. Keith, appreciate it, brother.
Enjoyed it.
Kid played well tonight as always. Coach Brewer often running here in his debut maiden voyage here with the Bulldogs in the 5A West as the skipper. 4-0 now in conference play. Van Buren falls to 0-4. Bulldogs are 8-3 overall. Pointers fall to 3-6 overall. Sean Holland produced and engineered our live stream tonight. Appreciate him and all his work. Joey Buffkin run the camera out in center field. Appreciate those guys making the live stream. It's the best around for quality stats, graphics, and such. Sure thank the boys over at Greenwood Sports Center for getting the live stream going. Miss Jessica made us sound so good back at the station in our twin bill tonight. Appreciate you staying out late, burning the midnight oil. We'll call it a day here from the Field of Dreams as the Bulldogs sweep Van Buren 8-5 and 7-0. I'm Tim Terry. Appreciate all of our sponsors down the line for all their help getting us on the air for sure on the radio side. You've been watching on Greenwood Sports Center and listening on your home for local sports in the Western Arkansas corridor, Fox Sports Radio, the Sports Hog 103.5.